good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins. He's Big Mike Boganowski. If you love college football, you know you're in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Welcome into the show, Clariton Boganowski. What's up, big boy?
Clariton B and the Heezy.
Killing me with that one. I love it. I love it.
You gotta be creative. All right.
Hey,
You gotta be creative.
you've been still worn out with that shit, huh?
Oh, dude. Yeah, dude. So the first thing I think about when I wake up in the morning, like popping that first pill. First thing I think about. Instead of like a wake and bake, it's like a wake and pop.
That crack rock.
Yeah. My wife found a dollar bill rolled up next to the bed. She's like, "What's that?" And I was like, "Don't worry about it."
Oh my lord. Only there. Welcome into the show, everybody. Robbie Martin, Scott Walker, Comanche Sooner, David Whitehead, Bishop Frank Drewski, Logan Litke. Welcome into the show, gentlemen. Make sure that you have wiped your feet when you come in here. Ryman Lemon, you too. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, what? You should play Billy Gunn's Mr. Ass theme.
Never heard of it.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. But good morning, everybody. Welcome into the show. Got a few things we can talk about right off the bat. The Athletic has two Sooners ranked in its top 25 most impactful college football players that began their respective careers in the FCS. Two of them are in the top 10 from Oklahoma. Of course, one of those being Giovanni Gibson at number 3. And then you drop down to number 9, and it's Derek Simmons, offensive tackle from Western Carolina.
He's a big kid, man.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. Watched him do some one-on-ones last week Saturday. He's a big boy. Big boy.
I did not catch the world's greatest coach interviewing with Josh Pate. I'm a bit late in the meeting. Oh, no worries. Hey, listen, I guess it just dropped this morning.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've been waiting for that.
It didn't matter yesterday because I saw Pate's little, love fest that he's been doing with OU. I was saying this last week on the show, and I'm not in love with everybody starting to love on OU a little bit. I just let their ass keep on sleeping.
Yeah, bro. I prefer that. I don't like this dude at On 3, the blonde haired dude.
Yeah, dude. Pick him. Oh, JD Piquel.
Get off the nuts, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it.
I gotta give him love. I gotta give him props though for this, because this last Love Fest thing that he put out there, it was from a question that he got from, it was from the Sooner Scoopers.
Yeah,
but at least he did kind of own the fact that he only really hit that 6-6 number because of how hurt they were all during last year. I mean, he at least said that. So because that's what I was saying, I was like, he kind of lucked into hitting that.
Well, it's like the trendy shit, and bro, I do not get down like that. Like all of a sudden we got material, we got Nagy. Now everybody wants to come because they like covered wagons. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro, miss me with that shit.
Right. Thank you for coming in, Kimberly K, and dropping that in there. We appreciate you. I'll see you shortly. Yeah, listen, I get it. You know what I mean? And this was the question that I have for you coming in too, was do you agree that the offense looks way better? You said there was a lot of hype last year and that there was a lot of shit talking last year. And so coming through, having seen this weekend and went over there and checked them, I know they didn't do a quote unquote scrimmage like what you're used to seeing, but what were your thoughts on overall even, but certainly what were your thoughts on this offense, John Mateer, Giovanni Gibson, that kind of stuff?
Overall, markedly better improvement, for sure. They look better as a collective, as a unit. it's pretty competitive. You know what I mean? It ain't like the defense is just busting their ass. You know what I mean? And it ain't like the offense is just busting their ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's give and take. It's back and forth. You know, pass wise, you know, they do some good things. There's a lot of crossing routes and a lot of
Which
you
is
know, a
not
lot of
exactly the air raid normally, you know, where you got a
oh,
bunch of crossing patterns and things. It's normally that forego mesh type of stuff. You don't see
yeah,
you might see some posts here and there, but you're not seeing a ton of
they
crossing
did
routes.
that. They did that, but they run that deep dig underneath, right?
Sure,
That
sure.
deep crosser. But you know, they you know, if I had to like call it, I would say like defensively, like the line of scrimmage, the defense, you know, they did what they did, and you know they wasn't much success running the ball. They had one in the red zone with Xavier Robinson that looked good. Blaylock got loose one time on a sideline. That kid's fast, man. Um, I had
Home
to
run waiting to happen is what we've
I
been
had to
calling
break I had to break the rules and pull out my phone and look at my roster that I had saved that I downloaded from the OU website. So I had to pull that out and look, and because I didn't know, you know, all these damn number changes and new guys, and
it.
you
Right,
know,
right, right.
I don't have the too many I don't have the faculties upstairs to remember all that shit. You know, I had too many
Well, numbers
concussions.
are tough whenever they've got one
Yeah,
on each side of it is gonna
yeah,
be
it's
that number, and yeah.
super hard. But yeah, the running the like defensively, uh, they controlled the line of scrimmage running the ball. And, you know, you know, obviously you can't say we're not hitting the quarterbacks, right? We're keeping the quarterbacks up. There's a couple
Sure, sure, sure.
instances where I thought a quarterback hit or a sack might have changed the play if it could, you know, happen. But they threw the ball nice, man. They took
He
shots.
gets it out
Um,
early and
yeah,
stuff like
they
what we're
take it.
hearing.
They took shots and you know, threw a lot of deep balls. Shit, Elijah Thomas had an amazing catch,
Oh,
man. Jesus Lord.
from Michael Hawkins, I heard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Like, yeah, it was. I'm talking about like full extension. Might have grabbed it initially with one hand and brought it in with two.
Nice.
Just a dude, just a looks good though, man. He's a big kid, man. Looks good. You know,
Manny Choice, I've heard, has looked pretty good
yeah,
as
yeah,
well as far
he's
as
big
freshmen
too,
are
dude, bro.
concerned.
Them two are big, man. Like they when I saw those two were reminding me of the Tennessee receivers last year. You know, those big physical receivers that you know that were catching those slant routes on the RPO. Like
Yeah.
they reminded me like just looks right, and like Giovanni Gibson looks like a damn middle linebacker. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. He looks like a middle linebacker out there running routes. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, man, it's you know, it I think that that's the biggest thing. If you got a reason why people are probably jumping on board is because we're hearing so much of that, and I think even Mateer said it last week whenever he did his interview,
Mhm.
second time we've really heard from him, and he was like, "Hey, don't get it twisted. It's not like it's one sided at all.
No, it's not.
We get a little bit, they get a little bit, you know,
Oh
and
man, but
it's challenging. It's a challenge on both sides. If he said, "Hey, look, if I'm not on time or if I'm not hitting it in the right spot, it's going the other way." You know? And so, you know, it's I like seeing and hearing kind of what we're, you know,
so
that
I'll
from
get it.
him too, you know?
I'll get into Mateer. I was saving him for last. You
Right.
know, everybody likes to start off with old John Boy, but I'm gonna save him for last. I'm gonna save him and Mike Hawk for last.
Right, right.
Um, Mateer's good. You know what I mean? He's good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you know,
He's a different kind of dude, right? He
well,
just he the way that he carries himself a little bit.
yeah, well, yeah, and I'm not even talking about him. Like, you know, I'm not even talking about that side of the ball. Like, he's good. Like, he doesn't panic, you know what I mean? Like, granted, like, they can't hit him, you know what I mean?
True.
But, you know, he's comfortable in the pocket, and he throws accurate balls. Um, you know, he looks good. I'm not going to his arm strength's not questionable. That's
I don't know what's wrong with Dean Blevins. That fool says some dumb shit
I don't
sometimes.
even know who is that. Clue me in on that guy.
I think he's retired as a broadcaster recently. But we've been hearing there. He's been tweeting a lot of silly shit lately. If it's the guy I'm thinking of, where
No,
saying stuff like they're just
yeah, that's a bad take. He's got arm strength, dude. But I'm gonna tell you who's got some pop on the ball is Mike Hawk, man. That dude's got. I mean, we seen it last year, but some bitch he got some zip on the ball, man. Like he he's got a cannon, man, and you know he's not far behind if he's behind at all. You know what I mean? Like
where y'all heard that shit before.
I'm telling you, man. Like you know he's. I would like. This is just my opinion. I would like to see, and I've only seen it once. You know what I mean? So, but I would like to see what Michael Hawkins does running with the ones, right?
Sure.
I would like to see what he's doing with
The
Javon
guys up front that you got on yeah.
Tanya.
Sure.
You know, I'd love to see that. But shit, man, Michael Hawkins he's just like when he's on the field,
Mhm.
it just it's a different speed. You know what I mean? Like he's different. Like he's just different, man. He's so damn fast, man. Like he's so
Dude, he
elusive.
is.
And
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it's one thing to see it on TV, like when he breaks out, you know what I mean, and against Auburn, he looks fast. You
Oh,
know what I
dude,
mean?
yeah, the way he erased those angles
But
on
when
him.
you're standing on the sideline, and you see it, it's different.
Mhm.
And I don't know how to explain it really, but other than it looks different.
Sure.
Just like when he decides it's not there and I'm gonna tuck the ball and go.
Right.
I mean, I would just yeah, he's right there, dude. Like
Well, and the beauty of it is
he's
we all
big.
know that from what I understand, his pops wants him to get that red shirt year if he's gonna get it. And I think that all things being equal, the hope is that you can get but with how Mateer's playing, and you even said yourself he's a dude, he can throw it. That arm strength stuff is bullshit. Uh, and the hope is that you get in here and you have a guy like that performs and takes them to new heights. But they said it on the Oklahoma breakdown. I caught it. What I caught before I fell asleep last night was even that's kind of one of the things that Teddy said that really kind of that he noticed real quick was that look, we hope that Mateer gets to play the whole year, but I don't think that we lose a ton if you end up with Hawkins in the game.
Mm. And so yeah, like obviously it's been talked about a lot, but
Paraphrasing him, obviously, that's
yeah,
not exactly what I said, but
it's to me it was clear that Mateer was more comfortable being that it's been in the system for three.
yeah, this is his third year running that offense.
You can see it, but like give Mike, dude, just give Mike some time, man. Just
Well,
give my man some time.
see,
Listen,
and
man.
that's the whole deal. I said this a long time ago. I said this towards the end of the season, and you were on with me whenever I say it, is look, don't count this guy out. We got 9 months before they start up.
Mhm.
It's a lot of time to learn the system. They actually have multiple quarterback coaches instead of none,
Yeah.
so not to mention the fact that he works with Kyler's pops and everything else. So it's one of those deals where you got to look at it in terms of there should be a lot of growth in year 2 with any quarterback as it is, whether you're in a new offense or whatever. But when you have that much time that you're working with it, it seemed like to me in the bowl game they ran some stuff that Arbuckle wanted to run, you know, do some things that he wanted to see. And we saw him look really good in that game. It had nothing to do with him why they lost that football game. I'm just going to put it that way.
Yeah.
You would expect that in the spring and throughout the summer and certainly up in fall camp that you're going to see some new things and some better things out of a guy that's an athlete that we know that he is.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, and man, the offense is confident, and I'm not saying they weren't confident last year, but man, they talk a lot of shit. You know what I mean? They talk a lot of shit. Arbuckle talks the most shit. And like, I mean, it's probably a little much for me,
yeah.
but I mean,
But
he's confident.
it's got to beat what Seth did, which was not shit on the
No, yeah,
sideline.
it's two different contrasts. It's two different. It's like
Right.
polar opposites, man.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm all right with
Well,
it.
this doesn't bother me at all. That's not a bothersome thing for me.
It's practice. You know what I mean? They're having fun. There's energy at practice. Back and forth after every play. Like it makes it almost makes me miss playing football sometimes. But then I realize, like, yeah, man, you settle down, guy. You was hurt a lot. So, but yeah, there was some juice at practice, man, for sure.
Hey, Christopher Shannon, you either come in with some context to that little smart ass comment, or you can run along.
7-5.
Yeah, it's constant with this dude. He never says anything. He doesn't show up, and then he'll come in and say something stupid.
Do you have like a poster board, like of like people's like screen names that are like negative? So like you just keep track of who they are, because you got like a beautiful mind when it comes to that shit, dude. Like you just know, dude, you talk shit. I feel like you got like some big board back on the backside that you
There's
just
a
keep.
big board, but it's all up in my head, and I just don't forget motherfuckers like that. Let's just put it that way. I just don't forget them. And this is one of those dudes that, like I said last week with Chris E. Chris E comes in and throws a blanket statement on everything, and you'd like to think he doesn't say something stupid every time he shows up. But much like Christopher Shannon, he says something stupid every time he shows up. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We understand. I mean, you can understand sometimes that they want to see it before before you start getting behind it and believing 100% in it. I'm okay with that. We just got done saying we wish that the national media would shut up, keep sleeping, and that's fine. But don't come in here with an OU on your freaking avatar thing and then and be that dude. This isn't for that. Go to the Doomer Surge guys. Yeah, that works over there. I don't give a shit about seeing it here. So come in with some context, give it something, give it something behind it, or shut up. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Mateer is the day one starter. Was he brought in to compete or start? I think he was brought in to start. More than likely. And from what we understand, I think that Hawkins is expecting to get a red shirt back if he possibly can, and have his time as the starter once Mateer's out of here. Now, if that was to stretch into 2 years, I think that there's going to be a competition come next year. If that stretches into a second year with John Mateer, I would expect that they're gonna want their. That's just my feeling on it. Is I don't see him backing down from competition at all, and I have never thought that he was going to back down from competition. Never.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. But I do think that he's probably going to be that cat. Hey, look at there. There's old Coach Top, my guy. What's up, my man? He says, South Oak Clips linebacker Jamarian Phillips loved his visit. Man, I'm glad to hear that. That's probably one of the places that they need to do the best in recruiting this year is at linebacker, because they're a little thin. I think they've got studs there, but, they're a little thin as far as when it comes to depth and all that kind of stuff. So that's good. Yeah, is Peyton Bowen hurt still? Haven't heard much from him. He had that turf toe, right?
They already took that. Yeah, he had some. He's not going in spring. They come out with that at the beginning of the year. I think I was in the initial press conference. BV said that all the people that were getting held out for spring.
Sure.
And so here we go, man. I'm gonna get on this defense.
Turf toe's a mug, right? Turf toe's a mug to get over with. That's one of those.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever really get over it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if that ever really goes away. That's kind of one of those things that lingers.
And certainly, if you're not, it's going to be one of those things that if you don't get it surgically repaired, whatever it is, and maybe I don't know what happened with them, but if you certainly don't rest it very long, it's going to stick for sure.
Yeah. But shit, let's talk about defense, man.
Okay, let's go.
You brought up Peyton Bowen, and one dude that has taken full advantage of getting his practice time and his tick and his run is my man Jaden Hardy. Out there balling, man. He looked good. And that's what it's all about, man. He's getting snaps, he's getting reps, and he's just getting that experience and he's just adding depth, man. Adding depth to that safety room. But yeah, Jaden Hardy's he looks good, man. He's out there running around, covering people in that Billy Bowman role, man. Communicating, talking, yeah, looks he looks good out there, man. I'm proud of him, man. He's I've always, man, his parents, man. We were on OV together, so we've always had a bond, man. So I'm proud. I'm happy, man. Like he's out there doing his thing. But I'm gonna start from the front to back, right? So I'm gonna go D line, and obviously everybody knows it's the strength, right? It's the strength of the defense, and it still is, even with Jaden Jackson out. You know what I mean? Like it's they're out there just looking like complete dudes. You know what I mean? Like this dude, Dominic Williams, man, like that dude is probably one of the thickest guys I've ever seen. Like that dude is so damn thick. Like
He's a big boy, bro.
it's so crazy how thick that guy is, dude. His legs are
Yeah.
gigantic. Like it's the dude. He reminds me. I don't remember the dude's name, and I'm not a big comic guy or anything. But the big rock guy that is in like the Marvels dudes. Like he's just super thick and strong. Like that's what he reminds me of, dude. He's just like fuck, boom. You know what I mean? And yeah, he just looks good. And David Stone he's markedly bigger. You know what I mean? Like the dude put on some mass. Seeing him give somebody the business in one-on-ones. Don't remember who the all lineman was, but
Bro, he's a dog too. He's just
yeah, he looks good, man. Into G Baby, G Baby's out there doing his thing. Like G Baby he's probably my favorite D lineman. I'm not gonna lie to you.
He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Dude, when he gets after quarterbacks and like chases them on the sideline, and they don't get around him, like it just shows his athleticism and his drive. Like when he runs, he did it to Ewers in the Texas game, and did somebody else too, man. And that shit just gets me hyped, man, and I like it. And he's probably my favorite defensive lineman, dude, because he penetrates and he wreaks havoc, man, and I like it. Who else inside, man? They're just big up in there, man. They're big. They're wide. I can't remember the other D tackle name that I saw impressed me, man. Like I damn, I can't remember his name. Number 93 on defense, and he was doing his thing too. And I don't the name I knew the name, but I didn't know who he was. I was like, oh man, he looks pretty
Is
good.
DeMarcus Strong?
Nope.
I'm finding it.
Yeah, number 9. I'm pretty sure it's number 93. But yeah, he was out there. He impressed me, man. Shockingly, man. The interior D line is going to be good, man. And the edges. The edges are the edges, right? Like we know what
Ace Hodges, that's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Ace Hodges. Yes, I was super impressed with that young man. Like he was out there doing it, and he was out there competing, and got a dub in one-on-ones. The one that I saw. Nigel Smith looks huge, bro. Like I don't know what they have him in. I don't know what they have him in the media guide, but he's 280, 285, easy.
That's where he wants to be too, by the way. Just from what we talked to him, he doesn't want to get to that 300, 320 mark. That's just not who he's ever going to be. He wants to be versatile enough to move outside, be able to play the interior, but to move out to the outside. I think that's what he's always expected before he ever even showed up. So I would just tell you that's where he's at. But yeah, Ace Hodges is who he was talking about there, Bishop.
Yep. But yeah, Nigel Smith is large.
He is a large human. And he's a
Large.
hard ass worker, man. And the thing about him is he was my favorite recruit out of that class. Just watching him play basketball and stuff like that, the way that he just his athleticism was on another level.
Yeah,
It was on another level.
He like if I had to if you said, Mike, who's gotten the biggest on Oklahoma's football roster, it would be Nigel Smith.
Yeah. Just
not
filling
even
out and just turning into that dude.
Not even a question, dude.
Yeah.
He's so huge. He's so much bigger than I remembered him. You know what I mean? He's just a giant. He's huge, dude. I don't know if I could say that enough. He's huge. He is a big boy. And so I didn't pay, and this is one thing that I wish I would have. You can't watch everything, and that's the problem, right? Is when you go to these things, you can't watch everything, and I didn't pay attention to Marvin Jones Jr. Because I was looking at other positions. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so I can't really.
He's killing it though.
I can't really elaborate, man.
Yeah.
I can't really elaborate. So, I did pay attention to Danny Okoye though, because I'm a big fan of Danny Okoye, and he made some splash plays, dude. He made some splash plays. Had a sack. I'm pretty sure there's a tackle for loss in there. Yeah, he's dude. When you think when you just think those SEC type edge players, you know what I mean? Danny Okoye fits that mold, right? He just looks like an SEC type dude that's coming off the edge, and that's all I can really. That's the best way I can just explain it, dude. He just looks great, and he had some flashes. Obviously he's got to continue to work and know the defense better. There's from what I could see, there's a couple assignment mistakes in there, just by the reaction of a couple coaches. But dude, he's there's some dudes that you can live with that, right? You can live with the occasional mistake and break an assignment because he makes up for it.
Oh, dude. Hey, yeah. No, because he's the kind of guy that is explosive to the quarterback. If that's his one move that you get out of him as a redshirt freshman, put his ass in the football game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think if, just answering this question of what Shawty's asking here, good as the defense was last year, what's the one area statistically you need or want to improve in? I would think actually getting home to the quarterback and getting those sacks. I think there were times that if it wasn't our Mason or one of the interior guys that were getting the most pressure, you still weren't getting them always on the ground. So I think we want to see those pass rush hurries / sacks really probably improve a little bit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I think that would help you with in your secondary where you feel like you might be a little.
Yeah. And my answer right there to Shorty's question is chunk plays, right? We got to cut down chunk plays, and
correct.
It's two part, just like Jason said. Don't let the quarterback sit back there and burp the baby. He's got to have a mental clock going off, and that helps on the back end with coverage. If our cornerbacks and our defense knows that ball has to come out, they can sit on some shit or not get the top blown off them. You know what I mean? So it'd be hard.
And I think that's the same thing that Ryman's probably saying here is quarterback or cornerback play, hands down. He says we have to lock them down. I think that it becomes a little easier when they don't have 3 to 4 seconds to get the ball
Mhm.
out, right?
Yep.
And then the other thing I would say to that is that we're actually hearing some really good things out of these guys. I mean, you're not seeing Eli out there just because of that injury that he had early on in the
I'm
spring.
getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Go ahead.
I'm
Continue.
getting to the cornerbacks, bro. I'm gonna get there, but let me go with the linebackers, man.
Roll your hey, just do your thing, bro. My bad.
Hey, the linebackers, man. They're they're. I was kind of worried about the linebackers coming
I
into
think a
this.
lot of people have been kind of worried about the
I,
linebackers with no more
I
without.
wasn't worried about like Kip and Kobe. I was worried about back
What's behind them?
the twos
The
and
depth.
threes, right?
The
Yeah.
depth. Yes, yeah.
But shit, man, Samuel Masigo's out there balling. He looks jacked, dude. Like for real jacked.
Well, he was my favorite from
Daniel
the
Daniels dude's
class.
big. He's big as hell. He was out there flying around.
Who's this?
So,
Kendall Daniels?
mhm,
Oof.
yeah, he's in.
People are definitely interested in him. What are you thinking there?
Yeah, I mean, without like it being like full on like game scrimmage type scenarios, like
Yeah.
I saw him around the ball a lot in position to make plays. He's a large human, man, and to think that Oklahoma State had that dude playing safety, like,
Well, he was killing it at safety. That's
dude,
what
he's huge though.
he
Look, he
struggled
is
at linebacker,
huge.
though. Struggled at
He's
linebacker
huge,
because he was new to the position.
huge. Like think
It's
that
like
South
6'5"
Carolina
and
safety.
like 6'5", 270 or some shit like that?
Dude, I don't know how tall he's about as tall as me for sure. I know that much. When he walked by me, I was like, "That's a big motherfucker." You know what
He
I
was a
mean?
boy, yeah.
But like, think that South Carolina safety that they had that was like 6'4", 6'5", like 240. Like he's every bit of that, dude. Like,
Okay.
and just have thinking about him playing safety is like that's ridiculous. Um, but yeah, he's and Cheetah. My man Reggie Powers was out there mixing it up. Super physical, taking on blocks. You know what I
They said
mean?
he's been killing it at
Um,
that position
super
all
physical,
spring.
man.
Yeah.
Saw him out there. Saw Taylor Wines. He's a big kid too, man.
Is he playing more the edge or like the outside linebacker or
He's
type
playing
of
Cheetah. He was rotating in at Cheetah.
cheater?
So it was
Ooh.
like, yeah, it was Reggie. Yeah, it was Reggie was out there. I saw Wine. I think I saw Daniels playing there. I don't remember. Like I said, it's hard to see everything. But yeah, man,
I mean, they're
linebacker.
hoping that Kendall Dobie ends up back in that position, but I think that if it takes him a little while, they're like, okay, that's all right.
Yeah, you don't want to rush it. You
Yeah.
want to make sure he's good to go. But yeah, they look good, man. And obviously safeties. We got Peyton. Peyton's sitting out. Robert Spears Jennings looks good. He's thick, man. He's a thick safety too. Looks good. Like I talk about Jaden Hardy. He's out there running around just all over the place. He's like he's the Billy Bowman right now of the defense. Like he's out there, you know, talking and communicating. And he's in that strong safety position, right? And it'd be him and Peyton.
Right.
Super impressed with him, man. Obviously my son, he's out there, being physical, and he looks a lot better, man. He
Yeah,
he he
what's the what no, being his pops, and I mean, you're gonna be tougher on him, I understand that, and we know that, but if you were to judge his maturation at that position, where is he at?
he looks better, man. So he made it a point to not he made it a point to stay around 210 this year, right? Because he got there last year about 205, somewhere 200, 205, fluctuating in there, and was like 218 come spring ball. You know what I mean? And so he's transitioning in and out of breaks, feet, and every ounce matters, every pound matters, right? When you're doing that stuff. So And that weight that he's at right now, he looks more fluid, backpedaling in and out of the breaks, moving back there as a safety. He looks better. And I told him that, afterward.
Reading it a little bit better too, and
Yeah,
he understands what's happening a little more.
It's obvious that he's put in work. That's probably the best way I can say it. It's obvious that he's put in work on that type of stuff, like running up and filling gaps and coming up and tackling's never been the problem, right?
To throw that one in there, that's pretty damn funny.
It is funny. But surprisingly, I get asked that a lot. I don't know why.
Well, because thank you, Billy Bowman. You told him to, hey, listen, I gotta say, you told him to soak up as much Billy Bowman as you could.
You're right.
I mean, that's all part of the package, bro. It's all part of the package. They got a brand new center fielder too.
Yeah. Here's what I tell you is he's focusing on football, man. He's trying to be the best that he can be. And I'm not saying he doesn't have time for girls because he's 19.
Yeah,
he's 19 in college. Like, I ain't that dumb. You know what I mean? I ain't that nice.
Let's not forget who you are.
Yeah. Come on. But yeah, but he looks good, man. He looks better.
Sure.
Had a nice little Gavin Sawchuk broke through, and they had a nice little collision. Nice little wrap up collision, got some attention.
Little thud, huh?
Yeah, he's getting better, man. You can tell he's more comfortable, knowledgeable, and all of that. And as a dad, that's what you want. You know what I mean? You want your son to go out there and give it all, and don't leave anything on the table, and no shoulda, coulda, woulda, ifs. Stuff like that. But yeah, corners. Here we go. Corners. The best corner I saw out there, in my opinion, Saturday was Jeremiah Newcomb. He was all over the place.
There's a new name. There's a new name. I love hearing this.
He was all over the place, man.
Yeah.
At least 3 pass breakups. You know what I mean? Not like the receiver dropped the ball. You know what I mean? Like, he got his hand in there and broke that shit up. Looked great.
Omarion apparently has been looking pretty good too. I don't know that we heard that.
Who's that?
It was no, but
hold on, real quick. Hey, the 2 freshman safeties, Omarion and Wimberly.
Yes. Cortland Guillory.
Yeah. Yeah. But Omarion, he looks good, man. He's fast. He's quick. He's quick in and out his break. Wimberly's going to be a big physical kid, man.
And then what I was going to the corner though.
I forgot those 2.
Cortland Guillory is apparently turning some heads as well.
Yeah, I forgot those 2, and I didn't want to leave those 2 dudes out because they're getting a lot of reps, man. They're getting a lot of reps, and
they're dogs, man. They're both dogs from what we understand. They just continue to get these. That's why I've said the safety room is one of the ones that you don't. Man, I mean, you got Brandon Hall's been just killing it out there on that in that position.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. But those two young dudes, man, they look good. They got a bright future, man. They just got to keep on keeping on and keep working, man. Man had a nice pass breakup. Wimberly probably should have had a pick in the little future freaks towards the end of the practice scrimmage that they had for all the young cats. Should have had a pick, but one of the other defenders got in the way and kind of bumped him off the ball. But yeah, those 2 dudes, they just keep working, man. They'll keep it up. They'll keep up the status quo of that safety room. But cornerbacks, like I said, man, Jeremiah Newcomb. Hey, how do I describe Eli Bowen?
Sticky.
Yeah, we got another sticky one, bro. We got I was super impressed, man. Like, I was like, damn, who is that? Because all the plays he was making was on the other side of the field. And I was like, damn, So again, I broke the rules and had to pull out my phone and look at my look at my roster, and I was like, oh, that's Jeremiah. That's Jay. They call him JJ. It's JJ. Super impressed with him, man. Looked great. He even had a couple, coming up, and had a little thud up over on the edge over there in run support. Looked good. I think Jacoby Johnson looks really good, dude. Like,
he's such a stud athlete. It's just it was a matter of time, right?
Man. Yeah, he looks good. He looks good,
a stud athlete, dude. I mean, there's another one of those guys that you watched him play other sports and other positions in high school and was like, shit, this dude could just straight up play everything. He's that guy that, that dude that he go to offense from defense, defense to offense, all that stuff in high school. And then when basketball season rolls around, he'll come out there and go make a big play right away. You know what I mean? He's not ready. First game in, they've been playing for 2 weeks and they come off the football field and go straight to it. He's just that guy. So at some point you had to expect, and I think that's why he's still around, man, because to be honest with you, that cornerback room has been the most volatile when it comes to, how do I put it? Oh, well, I think for asking guys that they probably ought to move along on, because they're getting over recruited a little bit. And Newcomb's not, I think Newcomb's one of the guys we talked about. Now, I think the concern is that you're hoping that you end up getting one of the taller guys that steps up and becomes that guy too at that position, right?
Dude, the Guillory kid's tall as hell.
Right.
And didn't look out of place. I'm gonna tell you that.
And he's talking some shit and being all in the middle of it.
Talking big shit. Had some nice plays, had a pick.
That's a good trap was on last night.
Yeah, had a pick. There's another. Who's the other corner that I cannot think about? Freshman corner. That I can't think of now.
Let me go to it.
Having trouble with these names.
Would be the freshman corner, Malik. Come on now.
Oh, so I'm gonna get there.
Malik, Tristan Haynes. Also, Tristan Haynes would be the.
There you go, Tristan Haynes. He's tall as hell too. Looks good out there. But yeah, Malik Hawkins. Hey, so I feel like he was playing. They had him up there at
he's pretty advanced, right? Pretty advanced.
Dude, yeah. Oh yeah, dude. He was running around popping people, and again, I had to pull out my phone like, oh, that's Malik. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Killing it.
He kind of looks like a grown ass man already, doesn't he?
Yeah, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like these freshmen that we brought in, like it's not obvious that they're freshmen, right? Like I just feel like sometimes you see a kid on a football field, I'm like, yeah, he's a freshman. You know what I mean? But like those cornerbacks that we brought in, man, they're tall. You know what I mean? They're tall. Yeah. And they're out there competing their ass off, man. And yeah, Malik looked good, man. He was out there doing his thing. And I had a quick conversation with Michael Hawkins' dad. I was like, hey man, if Malik ever picks off Michael Hawkins, I was like, I want to see the tape. Like I want to see the video because I want to see how that goes down. It's going to be awesome.
Hey, and that's one of the big Mike Hawkins. I saw him praising the defense last night. And, of course he's been kind of like that. And he's always pretty outspoken on Twitter, but he said that he thinks that the defense, if you thought it was good last year, just wait because he thinks it's better this year has the opportunity, I should say, to be better right now this year coming up, which a lot of us have been saying that. I think that the guys that you have to replace there, I mean, there's some shoes to fill there, but the talent is there to do so. Right.
Yeah. It's like,
I mean, you think about Billy and you think about Danny and Ethan, man, I love me some Ethan Downs. That guy is, as much as me and K Chris were on him early on, in year 2 under BV, and probably unfairly so, because that guy he just did more with less. And he set the edge on and he would make plays when you needed to make them. So to me, I really do feel like they're in a position where they're going to be really good.
Yeah. And we'll have
defense going to go the other way.
What'd you say?
5 till midnight says defense going to go the other way. Explain what you're talking about here.
Like pick sixes, turnovers, going to the house.
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
I
I'm
feel
like,
like that's what it means. Yeah.
because we're talking about them being better than they were. So, I
Well,
don't know.
we'll know what they are. We'll have a good idea what they are in Michigan.
Mhm.
Much
Michigan,
like what we
probably.
said with Porter, with Mateer, the second game. Like, yeah, we'll know what it is the second game. But yeah, but like I said, man. Like just to recap, like there's a lot of dudes out there, man. There's a lot of athletes. We're stacking talent, and that only bodes well, in my opinion. And offensive, they could look completely different.
Yeah.
I can see why everybody is hyped about it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Do I think a lot of people kind of went overboard with that? For sure. Because we're not playing games yet, and
Well,
that's
but
my.
then but it
You know what I mean?
was, I think it was so bad that even if it was kind of okay, that
Yeah,
it's just gonna look a lot better. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. Motherfuckers gotta be patient,
It
man.
was
Just
a
be
shit
patient.
show, though. It was
Just be
such
patient. Just be
I agree.
patient.
I agree, I agree.
Don't get over your skis, man. Like just be patient
Listen, I
and
think
let,
that the Michigan game is a
let
good test because we know what
goodness.
they will do. Their offense might be better than it was, I don't know. Their
Yeah,
defense is gonna remain really good. That's where we know that they were real good
yeah.
in the past few, and they were good at that last year. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
they lost some
Could be.
guys, but they were deep there. They were deep there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be great, man. I saw Shorty ask a question earlier about the playbook. The playbook is a challenge for anybody. Um, I'll sit there and
It's
talk
a
to Mike
different
about.
deal, right? Is it with
Yeah,
Venables'
I'll
playbook?
talk to Mike about stuff, and like he's explaining like some of the rules, and like each coverage or play call on defense has so many checks and rules, like depending on the sets and receivers and dudes going motion, and just like, dude, I don't see how anybody understands it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, man. A lot of
Look,
people
we
get out
talked
of
about
hey,
this from year one because year one, they were so unprepared to handle it because coming off of having Alex Grinch as your defensive coordinator,
yeah,
they were, and Danny included. Danny was in the wrong hole all the fucking time,
yeah,
all the fucking time, and it to the point that it was like the Baylor game. They win that game if he's one gap over, and it wasn't just him; it was him and another guy in that gap, and then the touchdown runs right through a wide ass open gap. That it was his responsibility, and but it's the little nuances of that defense and where you're supposed to be depending on what is a lot for these guys to handle and to
the
put into
the old football players
speed
are
D
dumb.
ain't
The
it.
old football, the old saying about football players are dumb jocks. Let me tell you
Not
something.
these ones.
Ain't no room for that shit in BV's defense. I'm gonna tell you
No,
that right
no,
now.
never has been.
No, the stereotype. That was the word I was looking for. Stereotype.
Well,
Yeah,
and I mean, we talked about Canick never really picked it up, right? It never got no, and he said himself, it just never became natural to him.
yeah,
Well, it took Isaiah, what's his name from Clemson, 3 years to get
yeah.
to where he understood it. He was their project guy. He turns into a first round pick, but
Mhm.
we've known for years that it's one of those defenses very hard, and it takes a lot of it takes a lot of you got to make sure that you are gap sound.
Yeah,
You got to be that dude, right? And he doesn't. If he's saying, you said this last year, and if he's saying 6 inches this way, don't be the other six inches off this way, right?
mhm.
Because he's going to get in the middle of your ass about it, and I think that some guys can handle that, and some guys don't as well. And because most of these dudes never got yelled at in high school that much because they were the best out there. Period.
Yeah,
You know,
hmm
so different deal.
yeah, man. It's gonna be. It's going to be a fun year. I predict Oklahoma's going to be a good football team, and they're going to be right in this playoff. They're going to be right in the playoff hunt. Like
in the race.
It's going to be, yep. They're going to be right there, man. And we said it before. Like if we just had a decent offense last year, the season's different. I think we'll have a better
McCall said that yesterday in that one that I watched of him yesterday. That's exactly what he was saying. Was that had you have had even and we said it, a competent, not competent, just competency. Period.
Yeah.
Things are different. And to be honest with you, as shitty as it was, we still probably should have won at minimum 2 more games, Mike.
Yeah, you're right.
As bad as it was, if it hadn't been for someone pissing down their leg at the end of the Mizzou game, or, the way that things went late or early, I guess, same guy pissing down their leg in the early parts of that Tennessee game, you probably win at least 2 more.
Yeah.
At least 2 more. So there's 4 that I feel like they should have won, but let's just say they win 2. That's 8 wins. We're talking about different things right now. We're not, the narrative is so much different coming into this season if it's not for that. But I think we talked about this a lot later on Friday. What if some of that stuff had happened? Do we end up with the same? Does Seth have to go? Does if they win that Tennessee game, does Seth end up getting fired? If they, and then maybe towards the end of the year they end up winning the Mizzou game. I don't know, because would you win the Alabama game without Kevin Johns coming in and obviously having a different game plan for that they used, right? That's my opinion on it. I don't know. I don't
know how Luttrell makes it through the season, to be honest.
The point being is, what if it wasn't as bad as it was, and Jackson wasn't as bad? Do you end up with Mateer? Do you end up with all these guys leaving as far as receivers are concerned and ending up with a bunch of hungry cats coming in right now? Things it may have been the biggest blessing in the world to have that year last year, which is why, I got on to Christopher Shannon a minute ago. You're going to sit there and say those things and you don't realize what's going on. You just admitted that you haven't paid any attention. So that tells me that you don't know. And it was important for all these things to happen, the changes to be made about the guys that, but let's talk about it. There's 26 guys that they sent off, 27 guys that entered into the portal, something like that. Probably 23, 24 of them were told to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had to go that bad for that to happen, is what I'm getting at. So,
you always hear the saying, like, sometimes you got to tear it down with the studs. We didn't do that, but, sometimes shit's got to go bad. It's got to go really bad.
You got to go through some shit sometimes, man. I've said this a lot after that first year. I think you got to go through some adversity in order for it to change the way that because if you continue doing things the same way and knowing, this has worked before, so you continue down that path. Yeah. And God only gives you that which you can handle. Absolutely. But there's some certain things that force you to make some changes.
Yeah.
To make some changes from the norm and to look, I think that as much as I believe that the talk about firing Coach V was overblown, I think if you're not having that conversation when we were at the end of the season, that things probably don't move as quickly, and you probably don't make some of those moves that he didn't want to make. I think about Deshaun McCullough. Nobody wanted to see Deshaun go anywhere. Nobody wanted to see Deshaun go anywhere. That dude's a baller. Mm-hmm. Truth is, he was probably in a better position to go to Nebraska and have a chance to be that guy this year. I don't know that he was going to come in and be able to be that dude, right? You know what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
not in this defense.
Yeah, he's out of position.
That's what I was saying. But I'm excited about where they're headed. Can I see them in the playoff? Sure I can. Can I see them winning 8 to 9 and not making the playoff? Sure. Do I see it being a shit show like it was last year? I think it would take similar, if not more, injuries, bad injuries in order to get to that point. I really do. I feel like it would have some just epic shit to go down, and we saw that last year. But again, I still feel like even with all those ridiculous injuries, you were still this far away from winning 8 games as it was. You were. So to me, I have a hard time seeing 6-6, man. I have a hard time seeing 7-5. I certainly don't see it being worse. And a lot of it, the other part of it is that I look at the schedule, and I think we need to do. In fact, I think we should do it now. We need to do a schedule look and talk about the fact that out of the teams that we play in the SEC, most of them have brand new quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The ones that don't, they're missing some stuff somewhere else. Now, except for South Carolina. And I'll just tell you, I don't think South Carolina is going to be that good. I don't believe in Beamer. I don't, as much as I like their quarterback, I like him as a runner a lot more than I do as a passer. And I don't know that you're going to be able to, I don't think anybody's going to run on this damn defense. You know? I just do. So, and then the other thing that I feel like is that, you know, when you look at, okay, so Nico be coming back, but damn, he don't have the weapons that he had last year. They're missing their running back, who was the best part of that offense. And you talked about those receivers that were big and could get separation and have some speed to them. They were just dudes. None of those dudes are back.
Yeah.
None of them. What do you do? Their defensive line, I think, is still going to be pretty good, but it's not 9-10 deep like it was last year.
Yeah.
So there's a difference there. You know, Ole Miss, do you expect them to be pretty good on offense? Sure. I like that. But they got a brand new quarterback. And yes, he looked good in the one series that he played against Georgia. But that's about the one series that he played all year.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing that a brand new quarterback is going to get off against this defense. I struggle to believe such a thing.
I don't look
Arch Manning.
I don't look at the schedule and not see winnable games, right? Like
they were winnable last year.
I'm not like, you know, we have the most difficult schedule in the nation. Like us in Florida, you know, I don't think that's really a debate. I think it's pretty obvious.
Sure.
But
yeah, because a lot of schools, when you just look at Mizzou and Texas, man, just look at them. It's a different deal.
Well, so last year, you know, we looked at our schedule and we're pretty optimistic about it, right? And then as the season went along, the schedule to me got more difficult as the season went along. And will the same thing happen this year? Like, will the schedule get more difficult or will it get easier, right? Because, you know, last year we kind of looked at South Carolina and kind of penciled that in as a dub, right? When we played South Carolina, you know, we kind of just like, yeah, that's a dub. Mizzou, dub, you know what I mean? Like, we'll see how it goes this year. I could possibly see our schedule not being as tough or strong later in the year as we're seeing it right now, due to the fact that, you know, all these schools have new quarterbacks, unproven quarterbacks, right? And, you know, maybe you could throw us in that. You know, maybe is Mateer a new quarterback? Does he fall into that category, or does what he did at
Technically
Washington
speaking,
State
you can throw him
carry
in
him?
that category if you want to, but he's been in this office with this coach for 3 years. This is year 3. No, it's not the same shit we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, I'm gonna look at the schedule right now. I got this shit. But, you know, like, you know, Auburn, Michigan's got a new quarterback, right? Auburn, who knows who's going to win that one? We know what Texas got Arch. South Carolina's got
Along
Sellers.
with 4 new offensive linemen, new skill guys. Their top 5 wide receivers that were in front of the guy that they love so much are gone. They didn't really go big in the portal. I'm telling you, there's a reason why I'm and it's not just because I hate Texas. There's a reason why I'm questioning it. Defensively speaking, hey, I can prove it. I wrote the damn column a couple weeks ago.
No, I'm saying it's not just because you hate Texas.
It's not just because I hate Texas. I can rattle it off for you, all of it.
Objectively, you can speak objectively about Texas.
All right, God damn it! You want me to do this? I'll do it.
That's funny. It just sounded funny to me.
I got my whole notebook. Fuck you.
It sounded funny to me. I don't know what you want from me, man. That was funny.
Yeah, I get it. No, it's fair.
Not just because I hate Texas. I'm pretty sure that's got to be some of it.
It's not just because I hate Texas. Now, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. I hate Texas. That's fair. But I think that as my column said, I think that they are more likely to miss the playoff than they are to win the whole damn thing. And because I don't know that I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think that Arch is overhyped. I think that Arch is going to be fine, right? What I'm not going to sit here and tell you is that I think he's going to win the fucking Heisman in his first year as a starter. His only starts that he's had has been against the trash. They started him against Louisiana Monroe. They started him against it was ULM and Mississippi State. Okay, the worst team in the league in the SEC. And a team that was worse than that. So, okay, let's find out. Let's let him actually win the fucker before we go out there and say he's that guy.
I mean, he had the best odds to win the Heisman.
Which is wild to me.
Yeah.
It's wild to me. And let's just be real. Sark hasn't even shaken his habit of folding to teams that are equally talented as him. He hasn't. Why did they lose look? They had as good a shot to beat Ohio State as anybody and failed to get it done. Get it done. I definitely hate Texas, Shawty. There's no two ways around it. Texas has Wingo and 3. Okay, you want to talk about Wingo? Let's talk about Wingo. He ain't. Stop acting like he's Jeremiah Smith. He isn't. Where is his star? You guys are talking about him as the next superstar. He had 2 touchdowns and 1 100-yard game as a freshman. 1. He played every game. He only had 2 other games where he hit over 50 yards receiving. The other guys, Jeremiah Smith had 1,315 yards and 15 touchdowns. Ryan Williams had 865 and 8. What he did was pedestrian in comparison to those guys.
What Cam Coleman do?
Cam Coleman was similar to like Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
With a terrible quarterback situation.
Yeah.
He was closer to Ryan Williams. Well, he's not in that discussion. As much as everybody wants to talk about Wingo, and listen, I think you look at him and you're like, yeah, he should be that guy. He hasn't been that guy yet, and we're just going to automatically believe that he is? Okay, fine. The rest of the dudes that you got are a bunch of fucking freshmen. They're a bunch of freshmen.
Yep.
Or you've got
who's the running back that they got coming back at Texas.
Now they've got CJ Baxter coming back. Is he all the way back? Now, Trey Wisner was a stud. There's no two ways around that. I think that's probably their best situation is at that position. We're just gonna act like the tight end position is gonna be fine. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, you look at South Carolina's got them Sellers back. Ole Miss, we'll see. Yeah. Tennessee, Nico, and to be honest with you, I think Nico underachieved last year. I don't think he was.
I think he could be better. I've been saying this. I think that Nico can be better, and that may not equate to wins.
Yeah, I thought he would have got better as the season went along, and I didn't necessarily see growth as it went along. He had that ridiculous play at the end of the game. I can't remember who that was against. We didn't even like try to throw a Hail Mary, just kind of threw it out of bounds at the end of the game. Damn, who was that they were playing? Anyway, we'll see what happens at Alabama.
Hold on a minute. Just so I can finish this, just 1 second. Everybody's over here talking about Texas. Let me finish this Texas rant since you just wanted, and you even told me it's because I hate them. So fucking give me a minute, all right? Give me a fucking minute here.
Well, you can't argue. Like I feel like you're trying to argue that you don't hate Texas.
Question marks. No, I am. Oh no, I hate them. I'm not even trying to tell you I don't hate them. Here's the thing: if you're putting him as the number one guy, which is crazy to me, when you've got a guy like Nussmeier coming back, you've got a guy, even Drew Aller. Now we've seen Penn State not really get it done in that position. We like Kotelnicki, but like Klubnik and even Mateer, he's been in this offense for a lot longer than and excelling in it. He's shown that he can do it, and he's got definitely better weapons than what he had at Washington State. So here's the point I'm making is it's easy to sit here and just act like, Arch is going to be Peyton, in his, third, fourth season as a pro. But to expect that is silly talk, especially when, the questions that are still coming about Oklahoma is what? Offensive line?
Yeah.
Okay. They're replacing most of their offensive line, and they have a lesser offensive line coach. And you don't have that same question going on in Austin. The defensive departures might be even
why
worse.
that is, though. We know why that is.
I don't
have to tell you.
I'm telling you that you can't tell me that Kyle Flood's better than Big Bill.
You don't know why the media and people aren't talking about why.
Oh, I know this.
That's what I'm saying. We know why.
Of course. But here's the reason that I think it's even more. It's the defensive part. That was the team, the side of the field, and I got to tell you, I was questioning that side more than I was anything else. But now is really the year that you should be questioning the defense, because all that defensive line gone. They're guys in the backfield. You don't have Vernon Broughton. You don't have Alfred Collins up front. That's going to hurt them. But I think that what happened in the secondary, you got Jody Barron gone, Andrew Makuba gone. They combined for half of the team's interceptions and were both top 3 in tackles. You're not just going to replace those dudes overnight. And that was really the best part of the Texas team. It was.
You know what? You know what we never talked about? We never talked about Homie bringing his trophy and taking a picture of it in front of the Gaylor Family Memorial.
Yeah, that's Barron. And he's on his way out of there or whatever. And yeah, fuck that guy.
Did we ever talk about it
during the daytime? He did it at midnight. Yeah, good for him.
I think we did talk about it. Never mind.
I think we may have a little bit, but it wasn't much.
Yeah.
But in the end, he's not there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they got to be active in the spring, dude.
Huh?
They got to be active in the spring portal.
But how much is even going to be there in the spring portal? That's the question.
Who knows?
Because overall, I mean, you've seen Sark be much more heavy into the portal than what you saw this year, and they lost more guys to the league than they did a year ago.
Bro,
that's the other part. 25 guys in 2 years going into the draft. And Texas hasn't had to deal with dudes going into the draft at all for the fucking last decade, almost. Aside from 1 or 2 here and there, they had years that nobody went. All of a sudden, you're going to deal with the most you've ever seen leave your program, and you're competing for a national championship right now? Get the fuck out of here. Even with your trash-ass JV schedule. Stop it. They have a better chance of missing the playoffs than they have of winning it all. They do. You got to go.
I agree with that.
Here's the other part of losing to Oklahoma. Let me just finish with this. They got to go to the Swamp the week before the OU game. Good luck. Oklahoma's playing Kent State that week.
Do they got to buy? Do both teams got to buy before that game?
Negative. Oh, before that game, but not before the champion, not before the Cotton Bowl, not before Red River.
Yeah, we don't.
The week before it's Kent State for us and the Swamp for them. Jordan Washington Tynan more athletic than him. Yeah, you can say these things, bro. But Gunnar Hill was a bad dude.
I feel like we only got one bye this year.
No, you got another one right before the Alabama game.
That's the one I'm looking at.
No, the bye that we have a bye after Auburn before Kent State.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep, you're right. Yep.
You still get two. Everybody gets two.
Yep.
In the end, I like the second bye more than I like the first one. But really, you kind of look at it as with Kent State, it should be play your young guys. But that being said, that second half of the year is rough. 7 in a row, just starting at Texas, it gets wild, right? It starts wild.
Hey, that's why you're doing the SEC, bro. Let's get it.
Absolutely.
About to go in there and bust some people's ass.
I'm going to tell you, I still think that as much as Texas doesn't have that same type of schedule, and they don't, I still think Oklahoma has a better shot at the playoff than they do. I don't see them winning the game at Florida. I don't see them winning in Athens. I don't see them winning the Cotton Bowl. So now what? You better not lose. And if that's 3 losses, which 3 losses for them gets them out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Nightmare, I'm just going to say something to you. Part of what I wrote that column with, and you should go check it out at hofmedia.us. Go check it out. Part of what I got that from one of your own insiders, a lot of that information. That he was even questioning a lot of it. Now, he still believes that Arch Manning is the second coming of God. I understand. But the truth is the truth is the truth. They're not coming into this season as loaded for bear as you guys want to act like they are. You damn well know it too. You know it. And you're soft as shit. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's softness over there. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They have a better shot at it. Because if they get to 9-3, they're probably going to make it in. Just by virtue of the schedule. 9-3 gets you out. Plain and simple. Anyway, we'll see. And I know you want to sit there and run your mouth, but I believe that's the case. And it's fine. I don't know that OU ends up getting there or not. I haven't said that they're going to make the playoff. I'm telling you that I could see them doing it, and I could very easily see Texas not getting in. Very easily see it. Because you have to hope that everything goes well with all your new faces. On the line, at quarterback, in the secondary, on the defensive front. You got Colin Simmons coming back. Not much else on that defensive front. It is what it is. Yeah.
Let Jason cook.
Soft as shit. Baby shit. All right, here we go. Now we can move on and go on back to what you were talking about. I just wanted to forget that.
Man, it doesn't even matter what I was talking about.
Which guys have played, though? Which guys have played? It's bullshit is what it is.
We're just watch this banter between you and Texas Nightmare.
He can run along. He can run along already. I'm done with that conversation because he's not ever gonna. I'm not understanding it. Trey Moore. What has Trey Moore really done? Ant Hill. I like Ant. I like Ant Hill. I'll give you that one. What else? What else you got?
That Josh Pate interview is an hour long with BV.
Of course it is. You know BV likes to talk?
Dude, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I figured they'd have clipped it a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, he did. I don't
They'd
think
have gave BV. No, I'm not even going to say that.
What'd you say? Go ahead.
No, I'm not trying to get all political on here.
Oh,
No,
come on. Come on.
You already. I got you in enough trouble before, dude.
You're not gonna get me in no trouble. Get the
Just
fuck out of here. I don't like I give a shit about
I didn't think they were going to give BV the Harris treatment where they clipped their interviews and stuff and made it shorter.
I love it. No.
Because I mean, hey, listen, man, I love BV and I'll let him talk as long as he wants to talk because this shit just motivates me. But yeah, I didn't think this interview would be an hour with Josh Pate. Well done for Josh Pate, though. I don't think you can get everything that you need to hear. I don't think 30 minutes, 15 minutes is long enough to what BV has going on in his head, man, because it's there and it's constant and he can just spit it. And it's amazing, man. It's actually some people are like, damn, this dude can talk, but it's actually amazing how that dude can just continue to spit. And you're just like, yep. Give me more. You know what I mean? Like it's better than most preachers, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Better than most preachers.
Yeah. You're about to not see him at all anyways. Here in just a second, guys. Don't worry. I have a feeling that that Texas Nightmare is that fucking other ass clown that we know about. Bevo's bodyguard. I'm getting the feeling more and more that that's who it is. And I don't
You got
like
a burner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one of those cats too that likes to troll me on
Everywhere you go, yeah. It's probably that
uh
guy. It's probably this guy.
the burn orange Kool-Aid guy.
Oh yeah. Fuck that guy. Screw it.
Kind of funny. Yeah, is that on? Is that on? Yep, there it is, right there. Full convo on YouTube.
What up, Coach Smook? What up, dog?
Ooh,
Coach Smook in the house.
there's a lot of shit I gotta watch today.
Yeah, now I know it's him. Now I know it's him. Bye, Belisha. Now I know it's him when he said, fuck that guy. That didn't even, come on, bro. Now I know. Now
That's
I
it.
know. Yeah, come on, bro.
See what I'm saying? You got to put that on the board next to them. AKAs, right? Hey, Texas Nightmare 2210.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's too fucking funny. Okay, Zofix says you guys should do a segment talking about the areas this team could struggle in. I'd like a critical review of some sort. All right, first and foremost, if you're going to sit here and act like we haven't been critical of them at all, I would take exception to that. There, Zofix.
Yeah,
folks be weird. Yeah, they do. Yeah, and especially Texas fan that loves to come in and just they literally come onto this show more than they watch Texas shows. And there's probably 4 or 5 of these fuckers. Easy. Coach Smook.
Smook's an Alabama guy, right?
Yeah, he's my boy.
What are we hearing quarterback wise out down there, man?
That's a good question. You want to come in and talk to us about it there, Smook, or are you getting ready for one?
Or you can comment whatever you want.
Yeah, or you can just comment it, whatever you want to do. But you're welcome to pop in too. I like it.
Hey, man, I'm a big DeBoer fan, man. That's my guy. I'm a big Kalen DeBoer fan, man.
And I tell you that that's the crazy thing is all the people that are in here, and Coach thinks that he's not built for that job. And I think there's a lot of dudes that even creators for the Alabama side that don't really believe in him much. Now, Spook's not one of those guys. I think he's behind him. And I tell you what, he was calling for grub to rejoin the team long before anybody else said anything
Yeah.
about that. He was on Grub coming back, and I think that's huge. You're out what?
He's out and about.
Yeah. Oh, you're out, don't have time. Yeah, 100% behind Kalen. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who's winning that quarterback battle to you? Is it Keelan? Who you got on it? I know he's big on Keelan anyways.
Yeah.
See, I don't know, Topher. I think that the defense was the best part of what they did last year at the end of the year. But maybe he's not. I don't. Here's the thing. I think that that's the hardest thing for anybody. I because of the fact that they changed to more of a zone coverage defense. That's tough for teams that are they're a man. They're a total man defense. They've been that for 17 years. That's tough. Right now, QB1 is Ty, but there is 0 separation between the 3, which isn't good for the 4th-year redshirt junior. Austin Mack has been going crazy. I had a feeling that Austin Mack was going to make a move also. They didn't bring him along for nothing. Yeah, dude, Keelan Russell. I mean, here's the thing: if you're looking at it, if you got a freshman that if it's negligibly different between the freshman and the upperclassmen, do you really go with the upperclassmen? I don't think you do, because that means the ceiling is way up high comparatively, doesn't it? Just my thought. Anyway, I like him though. Well, that doesn't surprise me that we're kind of thinking the same thing. Yeah. I don't know how you go with the upperclassmen if the freshmen staying toe to toe with them. I think you got to go with them. And look, just watching what he's done over his high school career. I mean, there's a handful of quarterbacks that have had more successful careers in Texas high school than Keelan Russell. Maybe not even a full handful. It's pretty good, especially at the big school level. It's pretty damn good. I think that he's, but I think that they brought along Austin Mack for a reason too. And if he's out there making plays, I don't know how Ty Simpson wins it. I don't know how he does. That's just my feeling. I don't know. I don't think that he's that guy. And as you said, for a red shirt junior, yeah, you should probably be a little further ahead. It just feels like, I don't know. But I think Ryan Grubb was huge. Getting Ryan Grubb to call the plays, because come on, man, you can't tell me that they hardly ran the football with anybody but Jalen Milroe last year. And last year when Jalen didn't really want to run it against Oklahoma after the very first play, Big Bo.
Yeah. No. Stutzman popped him, and he wasn't about that life, bro.
No, and I mean,
was not about it.
And he wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough to complete a bunch of passes. Now he had one of the best receivers in the country out there running down balls, but you needed a running game in that game to be able to stay in that game, and they didn't have it. They just didn't have it. It was one dimensional after that. It was tough. So yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have good reserves more than ever with how many players are running in a college game. Now the league keeps that number down. Yeah.
So I just seen a tweet that struck me as really odd, and it's from Matt Zenitz. It says coveted Stanford edge transfer David Bailey is visiting Texas Tech, a source tells. Like, does that mean like he's like visiting him right now and like
Wait, read that again. Read that headline again.
It says coveted Stanford edge transfer David Bailey is
Oh, yeah.
visiting Texas Tech, a source tells me. Does that mean he's like right now or he's planning to visit? You know what I mean?
Could be either or. The headline doesn't really tell you, but
But that's what I'm so I mean, if he is visiting right now, are we like just like nobody gives a shit about the transfer portal windows and all that stuff? You know what I mean?
well, the transfer portal window doesn't apply because they just fired their head coach. The transfer portal just opened for them.
See, I don't is it interpreted that way?
It's exactly how it is. If a coach leaves, the portal opens. Think about Alabama. They were only
Oh,
school getting pilfered from for that 30 days. You got that 30-day window from that time.
I thought it just yeah, maybe you're right. In my head, maybe I just felt like
I
it
am
gave
right.
him time to jump in the portal.
No, it's automatic opening for them. If you change coaches,
Mhm.
it opens up. They're open for business at Stanford right now. Not to use the coin phrase for old Brett Yormark. Couldn't you technically just keep firing your coach to keep the portal open? Well, it's not open for everybody else, bro. It's not open for everybody else. It's just open for your team. They have the opportunity to leave because there's a new coach. So that means that the entire country can poach the shit out of Stanford, but they can't go and get from anywhere else. It's actually not great for it's not a great rule for the team that just got rid of their coach or lost their coach, as the case may be.
Yeah, it's
They fired,
weird.
they
It's
fired the
weird.
shit out of this guy.
You
Andrew Luck
think
came in and said, "Get the fuck out."
you figure like if it's like this close to the spring portal opening up, they were just like, "Hey, man, you just need to wait till the portal opens up." You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yep.
Because I can see why they have that rule, like especially like when the winter portal closes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Is like when a lot of the firings happen. You know what I mean?
it is.
It's just weird that it's at this time of the
Well,
year
but if
that
you think about like when
dude
Saban
got
didn't leave
fired.
till after the playoff was over with,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's why it threw me off and it didn't make sense right now. I was like, wait a minute, man, why is this dude
Right.
out there?
But when
Yeah,
Saban did that, it was just them, and then it turned out them and Washington a couple of weeks later that were getting pilfered from, right?
yeah, yeah. Hey, man, it makes you think about something if you're gonna fire your coach at random times.
There's other things. Yeah, there's other reasons to be careful with that.
And
Yeah,
let's talk
absolutely.
about it. Like right before we got on, they hired Frank Reich as the interim coach.
Correct.
Stanford did.
Is he interim or is he the coach?
I felt like that's what I saw.
Huh.
Let me
That's
let me go let me go look.
feels like he would make him just the coach. And I think that Frank Reich has been kind of
Yeah, interim football coach for the 2025 season.
okay.
Both sides have agreed that this will only be a one-season agreement. At that point, Stanford will launch a national search.
Yeah. Alfaru.
Wasn't
What
that
up?
his quarterback coach in Indy for a while, right?
Yes, I believe so. Was it?
I don't know.
Y'all
I
tell
feel
me.
like
You
there's
tell me in the chat. Was Reich the quarterback coach at Indy during
some
while
connection
he
there.
was there?
There's
Because
some
it feels like they still had
because I know he was the head coach for the Colts at some point. Maybe he was the offensive
late, but that
coordinator.
was recent. That was recent
Yeah,
though.
because they were on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, that was real recent. And that was the situation that, and then they replaced him with with what's his name, the center who had never even been
Yeah,
a
my guy
coach.
Jeff Saturday.
Saturday, then he gets the job at Carolina, and Tepper is a shit show apparently down there. So it's a little weird. Looky here, who we got coming in. Watch
Well,
this.
look
Looky here, look at him.
at him! Look at him! Look at him!
It is Big Monday. Why not? end up with
Momentum,
a
representing
big
that momentum.
cuz.
Big momentum in the building.
Man, what it do? What it do,
Oh,
man?
Big Mo, big
Hey,
cuz. Marcus Dent.
man,
What's
had
up,
to
Mo?
go get these eyes checked out this morning, man. What's going on with it?
Get the fuck out, y'all, you blind motherfucker. You fucking up the game.
Hey, man. Hey, look, had to use every little bit I got, man. Shoot, I'm trying to stay in it, man. What's happening with you?
True, man. Just in here talking it up, man, about Big Bogue's weekend at the Palace, watching these guys and
Yeah.
Okay.
getting his assessment on the defense and the offense.
So
Which
what did you think? So what did you think?
Oh, it's competitive as hell.
Yeah,
You know
man,
what I
it
mean? It
is.
was
yeah,
competitive.
I hadn't
I
busted
wish.
his balls yet about the fact that he agreed with you, even though I don't think he really wanted to agree with you.
No, listen. Like Mateer's good. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that he's not.
Right.
He looks good. I'm just not gonna just. I'm not just gonna build him up and like anoint him and he's. I'm not doing that. You gotta.
Nah, I'm not doing the anointing thing either, man. But
He
what
looks
I see
good
with
though. He can
my
throw the
what I
ball.
s- what I see
He
with my
sees
eyes,
it.
I see with my eyes.
Yeah, he sees it. He sees the field well, and he knows where his receivers are, and he's throws a good ball, man.
And I'm gonna
Throws a
tell
good
you
ball.
something, Mike. That's one of the key things as a pass game coordinator that a lot of people don't think about. He knows where everybody is,
Mhm.
and he throws it to that spot.
Yeah, he knows. Yeah, you could
He
tell.
knows it. He knows
Yeah.
it, bro. If you're in a zone, he gonna eat your ass up because that's his sweet spot, man. I'm watching him because he knows where to throw the football.
Hmm.
And he said it on one of those interviews. He's like, "This is my third year in this system.
Yeah.
Third
Yeah.
year. You know, I don't care where you at. That makes a difference, man. You just
Yeah.
changed uniforms, so you didn't change anything else. You
Yeah.
just changed colors. That's all.
Yeah.
And man, I'm just happy to see a competent offense. That you
Yeah,
know
I
what I'm
know.
saying, man. I'm just happy to see a competent offense, man.
Yeah, it was
You know,
refreshing.
right? You know what you're looking at when you look at that offense.
Yeah,
You know that's competent.
I could see why everybody got hyped. I could see why people did what they did. Like, don't get me wrong, I can, but like I'm playing it cool, man. You know
Yeah,
what I
and I
mean?
get it. I get
I'm
it, man.
playing it cool. Like
I get it.
it's you don't win, you don't make it to the college football playoff in the spring, or
No,
you know what I mean, in winter
no.
workouts. So
But
I mean, yeah, and you know what? I didn't even, I just realized right now I didn't even talk about the O line. You know what I mean? I didn't even
yeah,
talk about that.
and
Let it out.
I was talking to I talked to Isaiah last night. Of course, he's out, but
Yeah.
there's some things that the younger guys are picking up on, and then there's some things that only thing that's going to get it is maturity. You know, of course, R. Mason is just one of them dudes, man. It's hard to block him. Um, it's hard to block him. But man, knowing the system and knowing what they're doing, they're gonna be a whole lot better off. Because number one, Material's not holding the ball for 5 seconds. If
Nice.
if you had him at quarterback, a lot of times you look last year, we end up getting um, coverage sack or just holding the ball too long. I want to say half of those sacks that they took last year was because just holding the ball too long.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, T Boomer. I ain't gonna downplay it now. Like Mateer's good. The offense looks good, man. Um, but yeah.
He
I'm
just
not.
to me, he just not that Material's the kind of guy that everybody gravitates to, man. He just one of the boys. He's not an outsider. And
Yeah.
and
I see that.
you see what I'm saying? He just one of
I
the
see that.
dudes, man. He just he the I don't know if the young man drink or not, but he come to the party or something, man. He gonna bring the 6 pack. He just one of the guys.
Yeah.
He just that type of you get that feel from talking to him for 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I never got that feeling with Arnold. Never. It was almost like he was in his shell and he was kind of untouchable. You can't touch him. You know, this guy here, he's just out and open, man. Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing? You know, just just a dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that makes a difference when you're on the football field and guys want to come play. You know, hey, look, man, we do this for him. It makes a hell of a difference. And then I'm gonna tell you that Joker got some damn wheels too now. Don't get it twisted. You know, so like I say, I'm just talking about what my eyes see. That's it.
Yeah.
Point blank. I'm not gonna sit up here and say he's gonna be the SEC player of the year or he's gonna throw for 4,000 yards. I'm just telling you what I see, what I saw when I was down there compared to what I saw last year from him. That's
Oh,
that's
it's
all I'm
different now. It's different now.
yeah, and even the coaching,
Yeah.
even Arbuckle, he's different. He engaged with the kids a lot more.
Boy, hey, I said it earlier, man. Arbuckle talk a lot of shit, bro. Yeah, he's talking a lot of shit.
Well, he's that alpha
Well,
dude.
stop.
And
I
I
wish they
think,
would stop talking about us. I really
Yeah.
do.
yeah, well, and we were talking about we were talking about the fact that Mateer seems like, and you're seeing a lot of that in the comments right now, is why I'm bringing it up, is that he's an alpha male, whereas Jackson was pretty beta. It feels like at
Yeah,
times.
well, yeah. You wanna put it like that? Put it like that. I mean, I me and Deuce Knight, we still follow each other. We still Facebook friends and everything, man. And I'm seeing some of the stuff that he's putting up, and I heard he's putting up a fight over there at Auburn for that job. Now they might give it to Arnold because he's a little bit more seasoned, but I don't believe
Season,
he. Hey,
seasoned isn't the word that should be coming
well,
out.
I mean, he done played more games, more college games. Put it like that, however you want to take it. But what I'm saying is this right here, guys. I feel like Deuce is gonna have that job before the season is over. I do.
Before long.
Yeah.
Look,
I
what
mean, I don't
you
think
saw
I
the
don't think Deuce will start the season as the starter, but I think he'll end the season as the starter.
yeah. Well, I mean, we saw that play that they put it all over Twitter last week of Jackson hitting old boy down the sideline, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They
But
needed that.
but what didn't you see though, that any pressure on him? It was a get the ball out now. They didn't even have time to get that pressure there, and so he didn't. It's one thing to do that, with nothing pressure wise, and it's another thing to see him do it if there's any kind of pressure and if he gets in that rattle mode, which we haven't seen. Look, he gets to week 3 comes pretty quick of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be coming off of a game with Michigan, a testing game. You get a win right there and you're at home again. You're going to feel pretty good about your chances there, especially in view of the fact that you've got a guy coming in that was scared shitless of this defense and they couldn't even hit him.
I don't think he makes it to that defense.
I kind of wonder if he does too. I think there could be some kind of little nick injury or something like that, and they decide, maybe we hold him out of this game.
I don't think he makes it. I mean, I think after the first 2 ball games,
Do you? Yeah.
I don't think he's
Freeze
gonna
ain't
make
putting
it.
up with that shit, bro.
If he struggles the first 2 games, there's no way in the hell they start him coming in on him.
Freeze ain't. He got a short leash, man.
Very short leash.
How short is the leash? They gave him $2.5 million.
It
Listen,
don't
man.
matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
They do what they did last year. Hugh Freeze is out. People don't talk about his hot seat, in my opinion, enough.
Well, that's because they're too busy saying that's that next team that's that sexy pick for SEC to come out and be really good for whatever reason.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here, guys. I've seen Hugh Freeze's teams over the years. I've seen him go from shit to it, you know. I've seen that. So
Well, I think
I
Hughes
can't.
is one of the better play callers in the country. I think
Yeah, and I can't. I just don't think that he has the guy calling it. Got the guy that's running the plays. If Arnold's their guy, they didn't give him that kind of money to come in and sit behind Deuce. They gave him that kind of money to be a starter. And I don't think in two, after them first two games, I don't care what it is. It's going to be a good test to see what everything looks like.
is it
And if
though?
if it
Who do
doesn't
they
look
have in their
good,
first 2 games? I'm gonna have to pull up the schedule now. We need to start doing this, I guess, breaking it down. What do they have in their first 2 weeks? I don't know. I don't think they're
it,
playing anybody special.
it don't even matter if you play a damn Tulane or South Alabama and don't look like shit. They're not gonna start your ass when you come to Norman. Uh, Steve G want to know what about the offensive line
Yeah,
and
answer it. I'm gonna pull
Wilson.
up the schedule.
Yeah, man, I really don't know. I haven't talked to Isaiah about Coach Wilson, but I do know he's there, and I do know they're all working together. I know that much. So it's not like an individual thing. They working together as a family, man. Whatever anybody can help anybody with, that's what they're doing right now, man. So, but nah, man, Big Bill is working hard. Trust me. I mean, even though Isaiah's out with the little injury and everything, man, he still has to go through all the meetings. He still have to go through all the play calls. He still get asked questions. The biggest thing is they know that offense, man, and um, what people don't understand, going to this type of offense was in Big Bill's wheelhouse. This is what he knows best. This is what he does best. So I'm not gonna say what he knows best, but this is what he does best. Some type of spread offense. That's him. And with this type of offense, man, they're gonna know a lot more what you. I mean, it's not gonna be any looking to the side. Hey, man, what we're gonna do here. Everything is crystal clear what you need to do, and I think that's one thing I do like about this offense. It's not a whole lot of scratching your damn head trying to figure it out. It's pretty damn simple. You just got to do it. So yeah. As far as I know, Coach Wilson is right there, man, helping everybody out on that offense.
Yeah. I'm gonna pull this schedule up so y'all can keep on with it. What were your thoughts about that offensive line, Boganowski? Because I know that's been a concern of yours, and you didn't really talk about it. So
Yeah, I think Sexton looks really good. You can tell he's back normal.
Mm-hmm.
With that knee issue he had. Eddie looked good.
yeah,
Eddie looked
I've
good.
heard Eddie looks really good.
Eddie looked
Yeah.
good. Eddie looks good.
Was Taylor at practice? He didn't practice, did he?
I don't think so.
Him
I
or
don't.
Logan Powell or Isaiah, I think all three of them are out.
Yeah. So that. Who's big, dude? That Afalava kid. He's out with a knee
He a big
issue.
dude. He a big dude.
He's a big ass boy now.
Yeah, he a
Even
big
he's
dude.
walking around on crutches, man. I was like, damn, dude, that's a big ass dude. Them are like some reinforced like steel crutches. Some regular old ass crutches ain't holding that big ass dude up,
Man,
dude.
I'm i I'm
Hey,
i I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, Mike. Our future in the offensive line looks really good.
oh yeah,
It looks
yeah,
really good.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, I think I watched the one-on-ones. Fasusi and Foja had some good reps. I'm no old lineman guru or whatever, but I'm no Gabe Ikard. I know he speaks highly of them, but
Yeah,
they look good. They're
they
big
do.
ass boys. They're big boys now. We got some. I'm trying to tell you, man. We got some monsters. We got some monsters on that O line. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Did you
And and,
did you
and
see
I
Isaiah at practice?
yeah, I seen him. Um, and he's one of the biggest ones out there. Like the
He,
dude's huge.
yeah, he pretty.
Um,
He big.
yeah, he's a big ass boy. and it's just
Is it Baylor and somebody else they playing first?
it's gonna be good, man. We're gonna be good up front. I think it'll be markedly better than it was last year. You know, obviously health plays a lot of it. Health, you know, is a big deal with it, but you know, our issues last year made a lot of young dudes play earlier and made them you know, develop probably a lot quicker and, you know, got more game experience, which probably, you know, long run helps you out, provides depth, right? And I think you'll start to see some of that this year. You know, if somebody does go down, I don't think you're going to see a big drop like last year, like when we was all dinged up. And you know, I don't think that the fall off is going to be, you know, as noticeable.
Nah, I don't think so either. I think you have good depth, and I think the year after 2026 year, we're gonna be hell on wheels on that offensive line. Um, you know, like I said, I think we're gonna be solid next year.
Mhm.
Um, all the way across the front, we're gonna be solid with a quarterback that can work magic. Uh, I think that's gonna help us out a whole lot. Um, and I think a little bit. I think I think the SEC as a whole is kind of don't know what to do. You know, don't know what to say about Oklahoma. They don't want to say the wrong thing. They don't want to say the right
Yeah, they
thing.
do. Just keep hating. Keep down. Just
That's
keep
fine, man.
hating.
Yeah,
And
I don't love
just
all
keep
this.
acting like we ain't us. You know,
man. Look, they've
keep
been
acting
giving
like
us
it.
too many props, man. I ain't gonna lie
Yeah.
to you. I don't like that. I promise you. I don't like that at all. But you got the schedule pulled up for Auburn right here. Look like they got what Baylor first game. Who was that? Like I can't
Yeah,
say. I just got
they
my
have
calendar.
Baylor. They have Baylor the first game, then they got Ball State, South Alabama. Then it is week 4 for Oklahoma. So Baylor, Ball State, South Alabama.
Oh yeah, you're
OU.
gonna you're gonna know whether you want to play him against Oklahoma or not.
Maybe.
I know maybe too. If South Alabama comes and damn near beat your ass, you're gonna play him against Oklahoma.
I don't know, do you expect that to happen?
Man, South Alabama is one of those teams you don't know what they're gonna have from year to year.
You may not. You may not, but they've got a new coach. We know that.
Yeah, they got a new coach, but most of that staff was already there. Like the DC, I've been knowing him ever since he was a kid. He went to New Hope High School, same high school I graduated from.
Mhm.
So I know a lot of that staff. I got 3 kids play for South Alabama.
Listen, I think there's don't get me wrong. I'm with you on thinking that there's a reason why he may not be there.
Yeah, I'm just saying that
And if
whether
you
it's
think that Deuce Knight is as good as a lot of people do, and they've got another kid coming in that has some,
mhm.
they got a portal guy that people like a lot too.
Yeah, they do. But
So
I think they didn't want all that pressure on Deuce. They didn't. That's why they got the Porter guy. That's why they got um that's why they got Jackson.
Hey man,
They want
hold
they want they wanted dude, I'm telling you, they don't want him to start. Not right off the bat.
on.
They
Hey,
don't.
I'm
Why would they pay 3 quarterbacks?
is this hey, I want you to go look at Florida's first game, week 1. Is that real?
Who is that now?
Long Island,
What the
yeah. Um, I want to say,
That's Florida?
aren't they on Oklahoma's schedule somewhere in the future?
Who?
Long Island?
Yeah,
Like
I feel like
they
they
got
are.
a football team. Like the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just
bro, where have I been? I have never heard of that up to like damn near
man.
40,
I think they may
40
be on our schedule in the next couple of years.
I'm damn near 46 years old and never had a clue that there was a Long Island college, let
Oh
alone
yeah,
had a
man.
football team.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know until they got put on somebody's schedule. I think it's us. I'm not positive, but it feels like they're on there. When they screw. It seems like it happened when they messed it up with Georgia, so it may not still be on there, but at that time it was.
Big
That is
Bo, 2
that is
years ago.
unbelievable.
2 years
Mm.
ago, we talked to uh me and the guy that I do the camp series with, we talked to the head coach there. I don't know if it's the same guy. Anyway, we were going to do a mega camp up there for him, and they were talking about changing the program and getting money for the program. So I could see them, going to play a team like Florida, get that money, because they're trying to do everything they can to get more revenue in for their football program. So yeah, I've been knowing about them for 2 years, maybe
That's
3.
wild, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, man, they actually took the idea from us and tried to do one, and they didn't even have 50 kids show up, and then they called us back, and we were like, nah, we're done. We're done. But yeah, they've been trying to revenue. I mean, get some revenues up there, man, in that school. So I don't know. They're Division One AA. I know that much. FCS.
FCS, yeah.
Hey man,
See, and you may start seeing less of those type of teams too. Coming up.
I need the college football gods, all right, to just like that Missouri Kansas game, week 2, September 6th. I need that to be like a noon kickoff, right? And then I need the Michigan Oklahoma game to be 7:30. And I need to watch that game. I want to watch that. I don't know why I'm looking forward to that game so much, because the Kansas Missouri game, I don't know why, but I want to see that, because I see them talk a lot of shit.
I just got a feeling that our game with Michigan gonna be a damn 11 o'clock game.
Bro, it better not be.
I don't know.
Dude, the Texas Michigan game last year was
SEC, so I don't think so. I think at the worst it'd be the afternoon game, because they still love that 3 o'clock game in the SEC. That's still the game of the week, right? I think that's. I think it's either going to be that game or it'll be late, and they may move it to late because they don't want that heat to be that bad. And I think that's smart, by the way, if you do that.
I want that heat. I want the heat, bro.
I understand that. I get that.
If
But let's not get it
want
twisted
that.
and act
We
like it ain't hot
practice
as shit at that time of year.
That's what I'm saying. We practice in it. Let's use it to our advantage.
I agree. They practice in it too, bro. It's nasty up there. And
3 o'clock.
So
3 o'clock probably be your latest on that.
I think that's I think it's the earliest.
Oh, you think?
I don't think they're going to they're not doing 11 o'clock because that's Fox's thing. The big noon shit is Fox's thing, and it'll be on ESPN, ABC.
I'm pretty sure the Texas Michigan game last year was an early game, because I remember
that was at Michigan. That was at Michigan, though.
At Michigan, okay. Because I remember listening to it.
That was a Fox big noon game, and this is not going to be a Fox big noon game this year. Next year it will be.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right about that.
That's that's 2 for Jason today.
Hey, I kind of know my shit on some of this stuff. Not in everything, but
It's all good, man. Yeah, Bama plays FSU. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of give a measuring stick of what Alabama looks like and what Florida State looks like.
I like that LSU Clemson first game.
LSU Clemson. I think that there's some pretty interesting week 1, week 2 games this year. I think, and the week 1 games are pretty interesting. I think that Texas and Ohio State game at the Shoe is going to be rather interesting.
Hey,
that's ugly right there, bro.
Mississippi State, Arizona State. That's something you don't see all the time.
They played last year.
They played the last year. Yeah, they played in fact, the last 2 years, I think it seems like.
Wow.
Yeah, Arizona State beat them by 7 last year.
And they lost to them the year before that. Or maybe not. No. It was just last year, because it was Levy's first year. Yeah.
They got to come to Mississippi
State. Not a good look. It's not a good look if you can't beat them boys. But we know that Arizona State was a damn sight better football team than
they won. They won.
Big 12 wasn't giving them that credit. They had them picked to finish last.
Yeah, but they won that summer gun though, bro. So hey, it is what it is when it comes to Arizona State, they just one of those teams, man. You don't know what you're
Well, they
gonna
got their quarterback coming back. Now they lost Scatterboo, but they got their quarterback coming back and their top receiver that didn't get to play towards the end of the year because he was hurt. And I think Kenny Dillingham's a damn good coach. So he's one of them up and comers for sure.
Man, I think they could be good again in the Big 12.
I think they could too. I think they're going to be they're a problem in the Big 12 for sure. Yeah. I mean, when you got your quarterback coming back in a lot of those, I still think that K-State's right there with them because I like their quarterback situation also. And they got Matt Wells is going to be their play caller this year, and he wasn't last year. Should have been last year. But I think that that quarterback takes a step forward there. I think that Avery's pretty good. You know, I just think he's pretty good.
What about I think he's sufficient for sure.
It's not going to be on Fox this year. It'll be on Fox in 26 because it'll be in the big house. So that one will be a big.
Somebody said Marshall's going to upset Georgia. No, they're not. Number one,
somebody's messing around.
Hey, look, here's the deal. Half of Marshall's team is at Southern Miss.
I was fixing to say they just lost their whole fucking football team
at Southern Miss.
Yeah,
33 or 35 kids transferred from Marshall to Southern Miss.
Mm-hmm. What was that about? What was it about? Something that the coach left, and did they not make him the full-time coach or some shit like that?
He was a full-time coach. He just pretty much said that the administration was full of BS, and he got out of there.
All right.
And they was tripping with his money, and he was winning, and he was like, you know what, I take less money to go somewhere else. At least I know I'm appreciated. And that's kind of what he did. He got the hell up out of there.
That's saying something, right? That's saying something there.
Well, this is what he knows. He goes to Southern Miss, and he's been at Mississippi State, but he goes to Southern Miss and win. He knows a better job is coming, or a big time coordinator job.
They were a bowl team too. That's the weird thing about it is it's not like they were getting their asses kicked. They
won a division.
Yeah.
And then he ups the league. He's like, I'm out. Win the division, take half the team with you.
Oh, man.
And they talking about the kids. Hey, it is what it is, man. I seen something real interesting this morning at the office, and I was like, Dan Mullen popped up on my screen, and it was like showing some of the the quarterback play and some of the different things that he was doing. Man, them jokers look really damn good, but Dan's no slouch now. I don't care what nobody says. He's no slouch. He's not a slouch coach at all. I seen him make chicken shit out of turn it into chicken salad in Mississippi State, so I've seen what he done for years. I think the deal at Florida, they didn't give him as much leeway as they given Billy Napier. That's for damn sure.
No, but they didn't. They fired him the second he said something about recruiting.
Yeah, but look at it, man. He went to the SEC championship. He had a couple 10-win seasons, and then he have a 7-win season, and they fired him.
Didn't he beat Kirby more than anybody else has other than Saban?
Yeah, beat him twice, I think. So, and we all know UNLV is a stepping stone. That's a stepping stone. He'll win 2 years there, and then you'll see him back in Power 5 football.
So I was telling you, my son was asking me about him being there, right? He was asking me about because he's still in Vegas, and he was like, "What's up with this dude?" He goes, "What do you think about this Dan Mullen?" I said, "I think he's a good coach." He goes, "Well, the AD is out making the rounds talking about we don't have the money to pay for his third year." I said, "Well, he won't be there his third year. That ain't gonna matter." I said he'll come in, they'll win the Mountain West again, and he'll do it 2 years and he'll be out. He'll be back in the SEC or somewhere.
A Big Ten or somewhere like that. He's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But unless I don't see him going back there. I think you're more likely to see him back in the South. I think that he's proven himself down there.
Well.
And so there'll be a job open in a couple of years, probably in the SEC.
Yeah, Ain't no doubt about that.
I can see Mississippi State being reopened by that time.
They're going to get a layup 3 years hard, 3 to 4 years hard, because they know
that would be the end of 3.
behind.
That would be the end of 3, though. If it was 2 years from now.
Yeah.
If after 2 years, that's what I was saying.
I can see that, man. But like I say, I don't think he ever. I am not gonna say he won't. There's some people that would take him back at Mississippi State.
I was going to say Starkville would love to have him back.
Yeah, they would love to have him back. It's just some of the boosters would be kind of pissed because he left like he did. But hey, it is. I mean, you got to go. You didn't have the money to try to get a national championship team, and Dan Mullen knew that. They knew state was going to be the best they were going to do is do 10 wins, and
right.
That's what it was going to be at.
Well, that's the crazy part about it. I mean, we've got something coming up about that we're working on getting some stuff together. Is that they're recruiting? Now they were right there with them, and they had it felt like they had an opportunity to kind of take that over whenever the NCAA was cracking down on what they were doing there at Ole Miss, and for whatever reason, they failed to capitalize on it. And right now, it seems pretty one-sided, right?
Yeah, it's very one-sided right now. I mean, they're winning the lunch pail battle. And what I mean by that 3-star kid I think that's gonna be really good. He's winning those. He's winning those battles. He's getting those kids. Ole Miss is really not offering you unless they feel like you're a sure lock. You're gonna be that guy. Dan Mullen is doing a lot more digging in. Yeah, he's a 3-star, but I'm looking at him. Yeah, I think he's gonna be this kid if we get him in the weight room, do this right here. They having to look at it from a totally different perspective because of the money. They're having to do a little bit of, hey, look, you're gonna be ready year 26. They're having to kind of do it the old school way, to be honest with you guys. And they get some kids out the portal, but they having to build it. They can't just go get a brand new piece and plug it in. They're not doing a whole lot of that. They did a couple on the offensive line, but they're being coached up. I know that. So,
Crow says, "Who has the strongest?"
It's one of those things.
Strongest as in
what now?
Crow's asking who has the toughest schedule or strongest schedule. I'm guessing, well, it's Oklahoma, and then in
Oklahoma, Florida.
Yeah, Oklahoma and then Florida, correct. And I think that if you look at that, let's just kind of go back into it. If you look at OU, as we know, they start off with Illinois State, then Michigan, Temple, Auburn. Bye week, Kent State. Then it goes Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Bama, Mizzou, LSU. Now, all of those, pretty much everyone, and I mean, even Auburn, as I said, Auburn is one of those sexy SEC picks to come out of the doldrums. That a lot of people believe in them. Why, I don't know. But they do. But when it comes to Texas, as we know, everybody thinks that they're going to just go straight and win the national championship in the first year with Arch. I don't understand that, but that's the expectation. South Carolina is another sexy pick, and you got to go on the road. They're one of the few teams that Oklahoma plays that doesn't have a new starter at quarterback. Ole Miss, new starter at quarterback. They still love them for whatever reason. They're not the same. Tennessee, I think that Tennessee I think Nico could be better, and it may not look the same. They still may not be as good. Bama, I think I've told you guys that I'm not that dude that believes that Bama sucks, that they're falling off the map. I think they probably got better. That's a tough game on the road. Mizzou, I think, is trash. We're going to beat the shit out of them. LSU, I think, is a tough home game. But you look at Florida, Long Island, South Florida, then they go LSU, Miami, Texas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. Now, Kentucky and Mississippi State is what makes that schedule not look as tough as Oklahoma's, I think. And Florida State may still be shitty. I don't know.
I think they'll be better.
Yeah, they'll be better.
I think
It might be somewhat better, yeah. And they're running, Gus Malzahn's offense. I think that they have that gimmick going with that because it is a gimmicky offense. I also think that when all is said and done, but their quarterback situation, I mean, that dude that they got from Boston College, he couldn't throw in a pro style offense that was, they look at that one as it's kind of one of those offenses that you should be very successful in, and he wasn't. So I don't know. I don't think they have a great quarterback situation there either. I'm not high on Florida State, by the way. Just not.
We can hear it. That's kind of what the vibe I just got from that right there.
Yeah. I think that they're a lot of smoke and mirrors down there in Tallahassee the last few years.
Well,
I think what hurt them the most is they were so heavy portal.
What's up with the kid that decommitted from Oklahoma and went there? Sperry.
Kevin Sperry, not the starter. Apparently.
Any rumblings? Is he doing all right? Is he struggling? What are we hearing?
I haven't heard anything.
No,
I haven't heard that he's the starter, so I don't know.
Well, I'm gonna tell you about Florida State, man. Having a chance to go down there and talking with those guys, Coach Atkins, who's now at LSU. Man, you had some guys that was really the scapegoat. They were really the scapegoat for a lot of things that's going on. I think Coach Atkins was one of the scapegoats. And you said it, you hit it on the head, guys. They were so portal heavy. They didn't have anything else left after that portal class was gone.
Right.
They were
and once
empty.
they went all in for that to try to get a playoff bid and went undefeated, but missed it. And then a lot of those guys left. And I've been saying that I think that tells you that the culture wasn't as good as they acted like it was in Tallahassee.
I mean, the culture is you can't have a culture with a bunch of guys that come from all over the place.
Exactly.
You have to build that.
Because
you understand
it's
what I'm saying?
Mercenaries, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you call them mercenaries, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. They're there for a job to get to the league. And they're not there, they're not there being their brother's keeper. They're being, hey, look, I got to go get this bag so I can get up out of here. And that's kind of how it was, that year that they had all those guys. And I think I'm just saying, because you can look at the starters and you look at the kids that's behind them. Man, they didn't have nothing behind them. I mean, we watched them practice. It wasn't nothing behind those starters, bro. Because they were so top heavy, they had paid to be so top heavy. You understand what I'm saying? They didn't have anything to go behind them. And they just gonna be a full-fledged mystery coming up this year. You don't know what you're gonna get with Florida State.
Right.
Because you don't know what the hell's down there.
Well, and they changed a lot of coaching staff. The coordinators, both coordinators and the offensive line coach, and like it's
scapegoats.
Well, yeah, but you changed them. So the point is that there's no telling how they're going to adapt to it. You know what I mean? There's just no telling.
Right. And they proved when they had talent that they could be good. But what happened when you don't have that kind of talent?
Sure.
And that was a different coaching staff from what he just hired.
Correct. No, I wanted to go back to that question right there. Teddy was insinuating that the offense won the day in the scrimmage. Does that give any of you guys cause for concern for the defense, or has the offense taken that big of a leak in your opinion? Ganja, I think you're kind of coming in a little later, but we talked about that before. I don't think it was I don't know that was the insinuation I totally got from what Teddy was saying. I maybe so, but I think that it's been pretty clear that it's been 6 in one and half a dozen in the other. They're competing. The offense gets theirs, the defense gets theirs too. And you even heard Mateer saying that look, this is a intense competition out there at these practices and these scrimmage games that where if I don't make the throw, the right throw, or whatever he even said, if you miss, it's going the other way. That's how good it is out there on the other side.
That's a good thing.
That this is really good. It's tough. You're not getting any cheapies, anything like that. It just feels like you either get out there and do your thing, or you get stomped on a little bit. And because the defense is that good. I guess my feelings about the defense, if I was worried about anything, it would probably be the corner. But the reason I'm not that concerned about it, first off, we're hearing good things about the corners, right? We just heard Mike talking about Jeremiah Newcomb being similar to what he always says about Eli, sticky, very sticky. And then we're hearing about Guillory being a dog as well from Big Trap. So, they were both there watching, talking about that stuff. And so to me, that's part of it. The other part is I think we're going to get home quicker. I think that Mateer I think the offense is having success when the ball comes out quickly. And
Yep.
and you better get the ball out faster. You're fucked against this defense, because that defensive line is, I'm going to say it again for everybody, it's the best defensive line in the SEC. And I think that this is going to be the best defense in the SEC. So no, I'm not worried. You guys can answer that as well.
Well, I think you hit it on the head. I think if they do anything in the portal, I think they go get a couple more cornerbacks for depth. I think they do that. I think we're good pretty much everywhere else, unless something, something.
I've heard a
just
lot of
happens.
people talk about the tight end position in the portal too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I touched on tight ends. I feel like I left them out a little bit, but
nobody's really talking good about them.
Hey, listen, that big number 81.
Yep.
The big joker. I was impressed on how fast that dude was.
Isaiah said he's good.
He was.
Isaiah said he's good.
He caught I'm pretty sure he caught a touchdown at some point. He caught one of those little crossers, those little shallow crossers, and
yeah,
he looked fast to me though. He looked fast. Not faster than you would think a dude, because that's a big ass boy now.
Yeah, he big, and
he's a lot faster than what you would think.
What's crazy? I talked to Isaiah. We were just talking about, school work and everything, and so man, I don't know what happened, but Caden Helm popped in my mind. I asked him. I said, "Man, how's Caden doing? He's doing well. He's moving well. He looks a lot. Yeah, he's moving well." And so I said, "How's the tight ends doing?" He said, "They're doing pretty good." He said, "I think they're doing pretty good." A lot of people on the outside, might think not, and they might still go get another guy. But, what's the guy that they just moved over there? Yeah, they say he's coming along for what he does. I think your tight end room is going to be multi-purpose. You know what I'm saying? If you're on the goal line, you need a blocker. It's going to be a multi-purpose. You out in space, 40 yards out, you might get a little Canic or a little Hams or whatever. I think it's going to be a multi-purpose type thing with the tight ends. All depending on what your skill set is and what the play call is, whether you're on the field or not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's okay, this guy going to be our starting tight end, or this guy. I think it's going to be multi-purpose. Whatever the situation is who you're going to have on the field. That's just my opinion. Just from
what's that big tight end's name?
I have no idea what his name. 81 is the guy you talking about.
Yeah. The kid from Pitt State, up there in Kansas.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, I was shocked how quick he looked for being that size.
Yeah. I mean, that's something, man. That's you think about that. You think about Gibson, Isaiah, Kearney. I mean, you think about all the weapons that they have. That room, that receiver room is going to be okay.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people.
You're talking about Carson Kent?
Nope. The cat from Pitt State. He's like 6'7".
Yeah, he's a tall kid. He's a big target. I can tell you that much.
Number 81, Huggins. That's it.
Huggins, that's his name. Man, he's a big target.
Yep.
Big target, bro.
Yeah, they're not even showing him in this RLAS, so I don't know.
Bro, he'll box your little bitch ass out, bro. That dude is big.
But I heard that Devon Mitchell really hasn't shown a whole lot either, right?
I don't remember seeing him out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything a whole lot on him. I don't know whether, it's that or injury. I don't know what the situation is. When I was there, I did see him run a little bit, with I think maybe with the second team when I was there. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks ago, so a lot of things change in that aspect, man. So no, I think that room is a lot better than it was last year. They might still go get a guy, but I think that room is a lot better because they got a bunch of tight ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 4 or 5 at least. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think the meal is being prepared real well down there in Norman. It's gonna be some people ready to eat in the fall, man. I can't wait. Hey, look, I got hyped yesterday watching the UFL, man. Football is back. Birmingham and DC was playing yesterday, man. So I was like, man, hey, look, a little football.
Yeah, Jason, shit or get off the pot.
Look at Krusty. Krusty runs his damn mouth. Another Texas clown in here lately. And he likes to run his mouth. I actually don't mind him as much as some of these other clowns. But why would I say it? Because they definitely have the best front seven in the SEC. In my mind, they were already a top 15 defense last year with no offense whatsoever to give them any kind. I mean, you got to have competitive. They've got depth, number one, but you also had to have complementary football, and they didn't have it. And they were still one of the best defenses in the SEC. You couldn't run on them. You're still not going to do that. And I don't know that you're going to be able to have a lot of time to pass on them with that defensive front getting the pressure it's going to get. That's why. You got R. Mason coming back. You've got, hell, I feel like it's probably going to be gravy, whatever you get from Marvin Jones Jr., but it sounds like he's been killing it. You got PJ is starting to come around from what we understand. We're expecting a lot of things out of Okoye, expecting a lot of good things. We're hearing a lot of good things out of Nigel playing on the end as well. There's dudes that can come up big on that defensive line. And the defensive interior, there's nobody close. That's why they're the best defense in the SEC, in my opinion. It's pretty simple. The secondary, I don't think you've lost a ton. I mean, you lost Billy Bowman, sure. But they've got dudes on dudes in that safety room. Even the freshmen are looking good. And if you end up with Gentry back playing corner, which, I mean, that's an if. He's been hurt. But that dude's going to be a dog. And you've got guys that are already showing up. Big Bo just talked about Jeremiah Newcomb being the best guy that he saw out there. He's another dude that's sticky. And we're hearing Cortland Guillory too. I think that they got guys. And the truth of the matter is having that defensive front is going to make it easier on your secondary. Something that Texas doesn't really have. Texas doesn't really have that.
Yep.
They've got Colin Simmons back. And I think Colin Simmons is really good. I don't think that I said this plenty of times over the last year that I was not as high on that defensive front last year at Texas. They definitely were better than I thought they were. They were. Mm-hmm. But they lost all those guys, man.
Yeah. The thing about it is too, Jason, everybody's thinking about how Alabama and how Georgia used to just stack players. There's not a big. I mean, nobody is stacking that many players. Now, I'm not saying they don't have them. I'm not saying they don't have them because I know they do, but experience, that's gonna take a toll. Um, you know, these guys, being their first year, whether and most of these guys coming up for Texas, they're not portal guys. They're guys that been in the system, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's going.
they weren't heavy in the portal at all.
Yeah. So they
I
wasn't
think it
heavy in
did
the portal. So
correct.
those guys will know the system.
Listen, by the way, though, these guys, we're talking they're replacing 4 on the offensive line. A year ago, they were talking about Oklahoma doing the same thing, and it was, oh my God, oh my God. But now it's not, oh my God, when they're doing the same thing. Now, don't get me wrong, yes, they've been in the system, but that doesn't mean you automatically just come in and you're that guy. Replacing 4 dudes on the O line is different.
It's real different.
And again, I'll say this. I don't look at Kyle Flood and think that he's as good as Bill Bedenbaugh because he isn't.
Man, regardless of the situation, you got 4 guys that hadn't played in battle tested water at point blank, and you're gonna have to Manning. Here's my deal. What has Manning done to crown him the savior of college football? Because that's the way they act. That's the way they act. And then, and look, man, I like Peyton. I like Eli more. Um, the Manning family from Mississippi. Um, they got a store down there in Philadelphia. Um, just went in there this weekend. I like the Manning family, but what they're giving this kid, man, it's too much. I mean, it's been a name based deal ever since he's been in high school, and I think it's gonna be. I think that weight is gonna be. It's gonna be heavy to carry. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be heavy to carry, bro.
I think it's a lot. And I mean, again, in their top 5 wide receivers, as much as everybody wants to talk about what's his name? Shit. Wingo. And I think he looks the part. But let's not act like he was the same thing as Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams or Cam Coleman, because he wasn't. He had 2 touchdowns in 1 game that he had 100 yards.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we're definitely gonna see, man. It's gonna look. We're gonna see, because I think Texas is gonna wake up this year and say, "Damn, okay." I see them. I see them below. I see them below 9. I see them at 8-4.
I think they could be at 8-4, and I think they top out at 9-3.
Yeah,
And I don't think
exactly.
that gets them in. That's why I said that I think they have a better chance of missing the playoff than winning the Natty.
Mm-hmm.
I just, because you start looking at their secondary, both of those guys that, the guy that came and brought his Thorpe Award and outside at midnight at the Palace, acting like he's a tough guy. Barron, he gone. Makuba's gone. And again, Muhammad's coming back. What did he do last year? Both of those safeties they accounted for half of their interceptions, and they were both top 3 in tackles. That's big time to replace that.
Man, I tell you, it's going. I mean, they're gonna have a rude awakening, come this season, because things are gonna change. I mean, they just. Yeah, I know they had a top 3, top 5 class, and they got some dudes, but them dudes hadn't played yet. They hadn't played yet. So I can't say that they are. I can't say that they aren't, but I do not think they're going to win 10 ball games next year. I do not think that. Arch is going to have some growing pains in some of those bigger games. And you think Oklahoma, let's just talk about Oklahoma and Texas. Man, we're gonna throw the kitchen sink at that dude.
Yeah, and you know what? You can sit there and say no way in hell, but again, I'm going to say this too. Coming into the Red River game, they will have just been at the swamp. We'll be at home against Kent State the week before. Not to mention they're wearing the icy whites. That matters. That matters. That's mattered big in this series for a while now.
No, we're home next year. Okay.
Yeah. So look, bottom line is you have the bye week the week before Kent State. They have the bye week as well the week before Florida. But then you got to go to the Swamp the week before you get Oklahoma, which, I mean, look, let's just be real. It's going to be tough.
If he doesn't have a good game in Texas, he's not going to have a good game. I mean, in Florida, he's not going to have a good game in the
I think that Florida would be the other team. If we're talking about defensive lines, I think that Florida would be the next thing to Oklahoma right now in defensive line. I think that they're really good up front.
Man, wouldn't it be crazy if you had a Florida and Oklahoma SEC championship game?
With them having the toughest schedules? Yeah, it would.
That would be crazy as hell, man.
Listen,
that would be.
I don't know that I'm ready to go there yet.
What are the odds of that? I want to know what the odds are.
I don't know, man. I might go to FanDuel and bet on that one, man. Just for the.
I think you
put $100 on it, man. Shits and giggles, bro.
Can I put the schedule back up? Yeah, I can put the schedule back up in a second.
But man, you think about that, Bo. That would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That would be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And could it happen, guys? It could happen. It actually could happen.
It could. It could. I think that's a lot to ask.
I mean, it's gonna be tough on. It's a hell of a lot to ask, bro. I'm just.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man.
I think that's a tough ask. You look at so Florida. They've got LSU in Baton Rouge. Now they beat them in the Swamp last year, but they're going to Baton Rouge. Miami. I don't know what I think of Miami. Texas, but they get Texas at home. That's big. College Station, they go to Texas A&M. Mississippi State's an easier one for them. Then they got, of course, the Georgia game. But we're going to find out how good they are because you hear what they said. If Lagway doesn't go out, everybody's saying that they would have won that game. I don't know that I believe that necessarily, but they were damn sure in control of the game at that point when he went out. They get Ole Miss on the road at Oxford. Tennessee's at home. Tennessee never wins. I don't think they've won in the Swamp in 25 years. So that should be a win if you're going to have one. If you're that good, it should be a win. Then they get Florida State in Gainesville, and they beat Florida State last year.
I think they beat Ole Miss too.
I think they probably beat Ole Miss. I think that they should beat Kentucky. I mean, Kentucky's just – although they've had an issue with Kentucky also. That all those years that they dominated that series – Stoops has had their number. We'll see, I guess. And you are in Lexington, so we'll find out. But I think that the Tennessee game they should win. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Texas. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, except for I just think that how many times do you see anybody going to the Swamp and win? It's just rare. Unless we're talking about like an Alabama or somebody like that. You just don't see it.
Swamp ain't the Swamp that it used to be, bro.
It hasn't been the last couple of years, maybe.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
For the biggest, but think about it. When they're decent, it gets rowdier there than pretty much anywhere else in the league.
Yeah, no, I've been there. Yeah, exactly. So but like you say,
could it be? Maybe,
Yeah, I think I mean, everybody just saying, they won 8 ball games last year, guys, and got a lot of production coming back. I mean, you got to give them something. They won 8 freaking ball games, and if they improve just a couple, if they get 2 more wins than what they got last year, man, that's I mean, it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think they finished 7-5. Won the bowl game with 8-5.
Yeah, they're 8-5. So they need
so they can win.
They got to get to 9-3 for sure.
Yeah, they got to get to 9-3, and that's possible.
Right.
That's possible. The same way with OU. 9-3 is possible, and it's all depending on who you beat in that 9-3 run.
Well, but I think the same thing that I said about OU, and like I don't see Texas being a playoff team at 9-3. right?
Yeah.
And because of their
I think
schedule,
OU could be a playoff team in 9-3 with our schedule.
OU's going to have to have beaten some combination of. Think about this for a second. They will have to beaten some combination of Michigan, Auburn, Texas, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Tennessee on the road, and South Carolina's on the road, Alabama on the road, and then they'll have to have beat Mizzou and LSU at home. So that combination of that, you will have to have lost only 3 games in there. So that means that you've beaten somebody really big on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Probably beaten Michigan, I would think, unless Michigan's way better.
I think they're going to be. I think they're going to have some struggles with the young guy up front. I think he's going to be fine, but I don't think he's going to be able to handle the Palace. I don't think so.
Right. Nathan, I'll donate it to you here, but I'm gonna have to do it later on. But I'll donate the membership to you. Yeah, I'll donate one to you. Okay, that LSU quarterback was a Superman, dude. You talking about them cleaning our clock? They weren't really cleaning anybody's clock early. It was Oklahoma looked like they were gonna, especially when
got the scoop and score.
Nussmeier went out. Yeah, and they had the scoop and score, and Nussmeier goes out. It's starting to look like Oklahoma's getting it going, but they gave him some kind of wonder drug when he went in the locker room, and he came out like a man possessed after that. I'll tell you, and that's
that needle on him, bro.
Bro, that dude's a baller, bro. He's a baller, though.
I would have went. I would have went pro this year.
I think Nuss should be the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman.
Dude, why did he not come out this year? I don't know.
He was the first rounder. He's probably the first guy off the board, right?
Man, what are they paying him at LSU to stay?
At least top 3.
I think he's better than both those other guys.
Yeah, I think he's better than. Yeah, I do too. I think he's better.
And I like Shedeur. I like Shedeur and Cam, and I think
he's better than Shedeur. He's better than Shedeur.
Oh, here we go. There, we know what Big Cuz thinks of Shedeur.
Man, I have nothing against the kid. I like the kid. It's just I don't think he's a. I'm not gonna say he's not a top quarterback,
bro. Here's what I'm gonna tell you: the year that
he's in a class that there's not a lot of good quarterbacks in this class.
Hold on. The year they went 4-8, he had 70% completions, 27 touchdowns, and just 3 picks.
And what division?
And he was sacked 50 fucking times.
I understand that, man. I get it. You don't have to doggone plead his case.
Is that like you making a case for him being good or bad?
It's good.
All right.
He's good. Now, I will say this. Here's what I think about it. I think he holds on to the ball too long sometimes, for sure.
Here's the deal.
You could blame me for some of those sacks is what I'm
getting. Class.
You can blame me for some of them.
This class of quarterbacks is trash compared to the others. The other years. I'm serious, man. I mean, it is. That's exactly what it is compared to.
And call your team because that's what they are, trash.
Now you think about it, guy. Cam Ward, great quarterback. Man, if he came out the year that Hurts and all of them came out, you think he would have been number 1? No.
No, I think it just goes with what you say. Cam Moore's number 1 quarterback in the draft just because the class is
the class is weak. It's very weak, man.
I don't even know that he's the number 1 guy.
Oh yeah, he's the number 1 quarterback. Yeah, he going first. As a QB, he is.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I think his arm is bigger than. I think he's got a bigger arm than what Shedeur has, but I don't know that he's better. I don't. Who's gonna be the first guy? Okay, if you're saying he's going first, who's that gonna be to?
No, I just from what I'm understanding, he's
the Giants. You think the Giants go with him instead of Shedeur?
That's all dependent, man. That's a Dion question. Because Dion,
I think Dion's trying to get him to
that.
go to LA, or I mean not LA, to Vegas.
Yeah, he want to go to the Raiders. That's what.
I agree with that. I agree with that. So, but I think that they're picking pretty high up.
Mm-hmm.
So unless, and I don't know,
Shadour's going to be the second guy off the board, I believe.
The second player off the board or second quarterback?
Second quarterback.
Okay. So then that means that you're probably seeing him go to the Giants then.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I say, I don't. Travis Hunter, he had on. Let me see.
He's going number one?
Yeah, Travis Hunter going number one, I think. Or number one or number two. Number one or number two.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Titans have the first pick. Yeah, I don't know. I could see him going I could see Shedeur going to the Titans, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But his dad don't want him in that deal in Nashville.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think it's not a good. It's just not a good place for a quarterback when it comes to a friend. Not the people. I'm talking about the administration, the owners and stuff like that. I mean, they pull some pretty shady stuff, man. I know when Mac was playing there, how they did him on the way out, man, it was crazy. A lot of people might not know the story, but Vince Young, when he was like 12 years old, Mac did a camp out there, and Mac found him. Mac was kind of like his dad. That's why he spoke at the funeral. Mac did a lot of stuff for him, man, from 12 years old all the way up through high school. That's why he called him Pops.
Right.
And they got to a point when they got ready to draft Vince. They wanted Steve to take a lot less money. And Vince called him because they want him to take less money, and then bring Vince in, and for 2 years you groom who you consider your son. You groom him for 2 years and let him take the reins, which he was good at doing that. He was going to do that, but the money situation was just super crazy for the beating that he had took at Tennessee with them getting rid of his offensive line just because he was a running quarterback. They stopped paying for really good offensive line. And Vince, from the story was told to me, called him and said, "Hey, look, Pops, man, don't worry about me. I'm good. You go get your money." And Steve was like, "Okay, man, I'm gonna think about it." Steve goes to the facility. Man, his access doesn't even work anymore. They locked him out of the facility. And when they did that, that's when he made the decision to go to the Ravens. And, I've heard
he still had a lot left to give. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he had a lot left to give. If he had stayed at Tennessee, I think he would have played 2 more years, at least 2 to 3 more years outside of what he did with the Ravens. Because, I mean, he was like, they won, I want to say 12 or 13 ball games that last year he was with the Ravens. I mean, so my thing of it is I think the ownership there, I don't think they have a whole lot of loyalty to a quarterback or doing the right thing, and it's shown over the years where they are. So I don't think that. And if I know that, damn well Dion knows that. So I don't think that's
and he's certainly. I think that They talked about they were sending out letters to teams who not to draft him. That there was teams that they didn't want to be drafted by.
Yeah, and it ain't like he don't have money. He can sit out. He can sit out and go in that whatever supplemental draft or whatever you want to call it. However they do that crap.
Yeah, there's ways to force a trade if you're a number one pick type.
Yeah,
early first round, dude.
Plus they know it. They know it. They're working on it now.
I mean, we saw that with Eli. Eli Manning, he was not going to San Diego. Period. Wasn't happening.
What
He
happened?
forced his way to New York.
Sure did. Stayed there the whole time. And I think that's the same thing you're going to have with Sanders. You know,
He's going to force his way to Vegas.
Yes.
It's the one time that you have any kind of leverage over it.
Mm-hmm.
But after
Only
that,
time you have any leverage.
And after that is done. Yeah. After that is done. You know, so I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, you coming back down next week, Boganowski? When you coming back?
So. I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll probably try to get down there sometime early Friday before on the 11th.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. For the combine. For the combine.
Combine
I was gonna say, you're not going to the combine?
No, he said next week.
Yes, next week. It's
it is next week.
The week after that.
The week after.
Hold up.
Yeah, tomorrow's the 1st, bro. So you got 13 days. It's basically 2 weeks before the combine.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, they didn't even look at that part of it. I'm thinking the day was the 1st. But anyway, long story short, I'll be there. Probably go down that Thursday. Chill out. Taking Granny down there for the first time.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
Granny's getting her first trip, huh?
Getting the first trip to Norman, man. So
make sure y'all get her some Fireball, bro.
Yeah, she's gonna need something, man. So she's super excited to get a chance to just come to the stadium, you know. So we'll try to make everything, because it's hard for her to get there during the games, man. You know, it's just tough. You know, her walking condition is tough. So maybe the crowds won't be that bad, and she could get around a little bit better. Yeah. So I asked Isaiah, I said, man, what are y'all gonna do? I don't know.
I'll tell you what they ain't gonna do. They ain't gonna have Bedlam in the spring game because the NCAA said nah.
Yeah, that was the other thing. They said no to Dion and what's his name from Syracuse on that deal. Kind of a weird reasoning that they gave for it. It's kind of stupid, but you know, like it was going to be some kind of a recruiting advantage. I don't see that necessarily,
because they basically said they were too late in the game and not everybody had to.
They've been talking about this shit for a month. That doesn't even make sense.
But they said it was too late in the game. Some schools were already done with spring ball. It's unfair advantage, yada yada yada. And then they threw in the all academics. They don't want to miss a lot of class.
Academics was the cute part, wasn't it? Like that.
Anymore. Here's the deal, guys. This is the issue I have with it. And I'm finna go here. It ain't freaking Dion's idea. They've been doing it in D2 forever.
Right. It wasn't Dion's idea. It was been thrown around for the last couple of years.
Right. But if he throws it on the wall, it sticks. And people say, "Oh, Dion is great. He's great."
Well, they were actually trying to put it together though to have it happen, which is what we're talking about. But no, it wasn't his idea. In fact, Venables has talked about it. I think after year 1, they were talking about it with him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'd love it if we could do that. That'd be awesome."
Nah, man, he's just.
So I mean, and I mean, hell, last year. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that there's a lot of people that would love to do that. I can see that happening too. And but I certainly don't like the Crimson Combine stuff. I mean, I'm cool with whatever it is this year for whatever, and because I get the idea that I feel like Oklahoma was trying to keep from getting any dudes hurt. I don't think it was about losing guys to the portal. I think it was about injuries lingering that they wanted to keep from that happening. But that being said, I still think they should have done it.
I'm gonna tell you, when it's time to come on the side of precaution and your job is on the line,
can't blame him.
He did.
Yeah,
you do exactly what he did.
And I also think that when you think about that part of it, may have been Nagy saying no. Could have been the first thing he said no about. I think the second thing he said no about was either one of those running backs that we talked about that shit and got guys that were giving me shit from the K. Chris and Chris Mason stuff where we were talking about it that we didn't think they were going to get either one of those guys. Why? Because I don't think that the value was there. And I think if you do believe in what let's just say, I mean, I disagree with this, but a lot of people have talked about what Teddy and Gabe were saying, that they don't have that dude on campus at the running back position. Now, I don't agree with it, but
I don't
if
agree
you
with that
do
either.
subscribe to that theory,
You telling me X-Rob is not a dude?
yeah, I'm. That's not even the point I'm making, though. I agree with what you're saying, though. But if you do subscribe to that, and let's just say Nagy subscribes to that, you're going to trust a freshman, even a guy. And I mean, first off, unless you get somebody in the portal, you can't attack that in recruiting right now. So he'd rather take that money and put it on a running back that is a portal guy that they think is a difference maker, which he could be putting feelers out there for that guy very easily.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or you can take that money and put it into, we need to go get a corner that is gonna be able to be that dude for this season, because we're not sure that we get to have Gentry around. Now, Gentry seems to be saying that he's ready. He's ready to go. He feels good, seems to be ready, whatever. But or even maybe, if there's people that think you're still a little thin in the linebacker room. There's talent there, but are you worried about if you have an injury, what kind of fall off are you going to have? Now, I don't know that I'm worried about that, but that being said, I'm not there evaluating these dudes every day either.
Mm. Well,
What I do think is they didn't want to spend a bunch of damn money on a guy that won't be here till 2026 and if they believe that they don't have that guy in the room and you need to add another dude in the backfield, then I think it's a portal thing, no doubt about it. That's just my feeling. Plus, I don't believe that if we're in an NFL model, I don't think that running back is one of those high-paid positions anymore.
Unless you Saquon Barkley.
Unless you're Saquon Barkley. And who is that? Who's that guy right now? Who's that guy right now? You know what I mean? I think we've got guys in the room that could be that guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, no, who's that dude that, you're going to get in high school recruiting? Is Jonathan Hatton that dude? I don't know. I don't think that he thinks he is. Not for what they were going to pay.
Maybe they think they have a lot invested into that running back room. They're just not going to.
I agree with that too.
Not going to do that anymore. I mean, you got from what's the two freshmen? One is playing baseball. What's his name? Can't think of his name right now. Tatum. You got X-Rob.
Yep.
Those are two really good freshmen that you're paying right now.
Torrey Blaylock is impressing everybody right now.
And then you got Blaylock that's here. Then you got Sawchuk and Barnes. Why?
I'm not sure that Sawchuk. I think one of those dudes at least is probably out, and I think Sam's probably out.
Who?
I think Sam Franklin. I don't know why he's there still.
Yeah. I think Sam is probably one of those deals where I'm gonna get my degree and then I might bounce after that. It might be a deal with him.
They might be pushing him out though.
Well, I mean,
he's a third year guy next year, right?
I think he looks at demand, right? You know, if do you think if he would have left after the season, would he have been high in demand? Because
I don't know. He led FCS the year before he came here, though.
That's what I'm saying. There was probably a lot of backs in the portal at that time. And if you wait till after the spring, there's a little bit more sense of urgency with the team that might need a running back with less.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. The spring, yeah, you're right. The spring brings about urgency. If they go get if a team go get a person in the spring, they need that person to play right then.
And they're willing to pay probably a little bit more.
Right. You're exactly right on that, man. He's
a 5-star though, right? He's a 5-star guy. So what's it going to cost you to go get him? And apparently, from what we're hearing, A&M doubled the offer, maybe tripled the offer that he was getting from Oklahoma. They were done at that point. They were out on Jones weeks ago. I know people probably don't want to hear that in view of the fact that he's a legacy guy. They were out on him weeks ago. That wasn't
Why? Why were they out on him weeks ago?
Well, I think money had something they did not believe that he was worth the money that KU was even offering him. I think they made that.
Hatton got a big bag, and the kid from in-state got a big bag too.
Yes, Jones.
Yeah.
Well, they wasn't going to get that big of a bag, you know.
Not at Oklahoma. They weren't at Oklahoma.
Why would they though? I mean, like, are we saying Oklahoma messed it up by not giving them the bag? Or
I don't.
No,
I'm
never
not saying that at all.
It's supply and
I'm just
demand.
saying, like, the consensus is the people out there thinking we tricked that off and probably should have paid them.
Keywan's son, there's a little bit of it's just looking back at who his dad is, and they loved him, and he was a very good back at Oklahoma, very good.
So they think since his dad was a good back, they should have gave him the bag. Is what you're saying?
No, the kid's good. The kid ain't bad.
I don't think that he's terrible.
No, he's not bad, but he's
I don't
not.
think that he's terrible, but I don't think that he's not worth $500,000 if that's what the number was that they gave him at Okie Light. I don't know that we're paying any of our running backs that much.
Yeah, you never know. Never know.
But apparently, what they gave Hatton was a shit ton at A&M. And here's why though too. Here's another thing that I would say is you look at our room again. If you're listening to what Teddy and Gabe are saying last week, not necessarily what they said last night. If you're listening to what they said last week, was they don't have that guy on campus.
I disagree with that.
I do disagree with that as well. I think you've got multiple guys on campus already that are good. But A&M's problem last year was in the backfield. Their running game, for as much as they like to run the ball, they didn't have that guy. And I don't know that they have him now.
Damn, Neilio, how you hear that?
What Neilio just say?
He said they're offering more than others.
Damn, Bishop Frank got the numbers.
The SIP running back. What about him? He's not around.
Up earlier, he said Jones got 500.
Yeah.
So what about the SIP running back? He's a 27 guy.
Yeah, you're talking about, well, you got a 27 guy and you got JJ.
You got 227 and you got JJ.
Yep.
You got the other kid, Robinson. He's a high 4-star kid.
Mm-hmm.
But you know
JJ's still a 3, isn't he?
Still a 3.
So
hey, there's nothing wrong with being a 3.
The value to me, and we said this. I said this on the show with K. Chris and Chris Mason last week. That's a value pickup right there because he is still a 3-star. Give him a little more than what they're willing to give him anywhere else as a 3 and go get him.
I don't like the way we throw around like he's just a 3-star, the 3 stars.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about money wise.
What I'm saying, and you know that.
I know, but like it's not just you guys. I'm talking about like the whole college football, in like recruiting. Like I feel like 3 stars.
That's
like
the show was about on Friday, bro. Was that, and the shows I've been having lately are. We're going too far with this stuff, and I think that this NFL model. I mean, they said the other day. I heard from multiple sources that Nagy doesn't give a fuck about on 3, 247, and rivals. Doesn't care.
That's not what I'm saying, though. What I'm saying is people are discrediting, in my opinion, a 3-star. A 3-star is like
your program, bro.
Oh yeah, I get it. I get it, man.
That means you're a hell of a football player.
Well, here
you don't even know if it's correct though. A lot of times, whether they're a 3-star or not.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Here's the deal, Mike. When I say 3-star, you got all the way from an 80 to an 89. There's a big difference in those kids. But when I say the word only a 3-star, or he being projected as a 3-star, I'm talking about on the money side. because I don't care what you say. Very
man,
few
that's
schools.
that's the game.
Very few schools are gonna say, "I'm gonna give you damn 5-star money, and you're a 3-star." They're not
Nobody.
gonna do that.
Yeah. That
You know, and that's all I'm talking about.
how they
JJ
can.
Hill,
Man,
JJ Hill's you look at all the schools that he have, is unreal. His doggone offer sheet is off the chain. But guess what? They got kids that don't have nowhere near the offers, and it got them ranked higher. And that's just because of we hadn't seen him, or this guy, has a problem with some little thing that he does. I mean, it's crazy. I've seen these people have a problem with kid because, well, they don't think he works hard enough. But
We're
it's
believing that they're
no,
underrated is what we're getting at. We're not saying that
yeah,
3 stars are bad, and because I believe, and I think everybody knows that 3-star is the lifeblood of every football program.
mm-hmm.
There's only so many 4s and 5s out there.
And here's the thing, guys.
There's only so
You
many.
gotta win on those type kids.
Right.
You gotta win on those type kids. You gotta
That's
win
right.
on those type. My
What do you think
Isaiah,
about? Think talk
Myself
about
was one
these
of
3
those.
stars that are no stars that were just that dude. I mean, they've missed. There's guys that get missed on every year. We talked about this on your show last week. Cam Scatteraboo played at Sacramento State, had monster years there. It took 2 of them for him to get to Arizona State.
Mm-hmm.
The dude put up 1,700 rushing yards and 600 receiving yards last year. 24 touchdowns.
That guy.
Cam Ward. Y'all just talked about he's going to be the first quarterback taken.
Mm-hmm.
He was at Incarnate Word. and then
and look at the quarterback we have right now on our team.
That's right. 3-star. If he was I don't even know that he was a 3-star. I think he was a 2.
Mm-hmm.
Playing at Little Elm, they didn't win a lot of games, but he put up big ass numbers.
Yep. And see, that's the only thing that I'm saying, Mike. A guy like JJ, he's committed to Mississippi State. I don't think Oklahoma will really dive into him unless he decommits from state. I really do. I think they have I don't know, man. I think him and Leb have some kind of little deal. I just really do. Because I talked to Leb right after he got the job. Isaiah was still in high school. And me and him talked, and he was like, "Hey, look, Oklahoma, my home. That's why that's why I kind of laid my bed, made my bed." He said, I talked to Coach Venables, and man, it was kind of like don't bite the hand that feeds you type deal. Like that's cool. And so I think they got a really respect for a kid that's committed to Mississippi State. That kid's committed to Mississippi State. Now, do I think he's gonna stay at State? Nah, I don't. I don't know if they're gonna have the money to keep him. Now, with if the rev share come in, they're gonna get him. If all that stuff happened in July and they get that money, they'll keep him. Outside of that, I don't know. I think he's waiting on Georgia. If Georgia offers, I think he's going to Georgia. That's just my take. But Mississippi running backs hadn't did really well at Georgia. We had a couple of them over there. They just hadn't done well. They're going to play those Georgia. And see, that's what I try to get these kids to understand. If you're a Georgia kid, you right there in that area, Buford and all that deal right there, man, they're going to play those kids. If y'all the same, if you just not a big time standout over them with those kids, that home kid going to play. Bet your ass on that. So I think State will be a good look for him because I think he'll play right away. But no, we hadn't. I don't think we went after him, Jason, like we will if he decommits. I think if he decommits, I think OU will dive in. I think they'll dive in.
JJ? Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good baseball player too.
I can see that too. And I mean, here's the I don't know who they end up if they end up with anybody on it. I mean, the truth is I don't know that you have to go get anybody right now as
I
it
don't
is.
think you do.
I don't know that you do, but I think that makes 27 bigger, and I think that maybe they go after Michael a little hotter because he'll be further up the list by then anyway.
Oh yeah, he
But
will.
again, we know that's this staff, this GM staff, this scouting staff is not going to look at what On3 and Rivals and those guys. It's been made clear. They're going to do their own evaluations. They're going to do their own evaluations, and they don't give a shit about what the evaluations are of these other guys. And I think that either that's going to make you have worse rankings. Go ahead.
I got to holler at y'all, man.
You out?
Yeah, I got y'all. I got to take this call. I'll catch up with y'all.
All right, bro. All right,
big dog.
I think that overall, that's what we're getting at. And I mean, I hated that he left that quick because we're talking about what he brought up. But to me, I feel like it's a situation where we're talking about either Oklahoma's going to start having worse rankings overall because he's not in agreement,
but you know what solves that?
Or they're going to start paying attention to what he has to say.
Right. That's what I just
they're going to go up. But it's not going to be it's not going to be because he starts going along with On3 Rivals and 7 because he's not going to do that.
Dude, let me tell you something. I know the inner workings of both. Dude, they feed off what these coaches offer.
A lot
of them do.
A lot of them do.
All of them does, man, because you're not going to find a 4-star kid with no offers. It don't work. You're not going to find a 3-star kid with no offers. You're going to have some offers to be ranked. So that tells me right there.
We've heard him say that he trusts the evaluations of certain coaches like Larry Johnson, like his name? The now offensive coordinator, receiver coach at Ohio State.
I understand all that, but what I'm saying is, for the people to understand this, there's not a kid that had 3, 4, or 5 stars without a freaking offer. So that tells me that if let's just say I'm running on
it's ridiculous that he's
they even started him as a 2-star. But I understand that part. Listen to what I'm saying. There's no agency out there that has ever ranked a kid without offers because they're not certain. If you was that certain, you would go rank this kid you saw in the 9th grade, say, hey man, he's going to be a 4-star. Rank him. They do not do that without an offer. Why is that? Because they have to have the opinion of a college. To start their evaluation.
I'm glad you're saying this stuff, and we're talking about this because I have a video that I'm putting together that I'm going to use part of this to finish it up today. It'll be out by tomorrow. I want you guys to see it because I think it's worth going back and visiting what we're talking about. Last week, Chris Mason and when we were on with him on last Thursday night was talking about this, the fact that, look, we're either going to start seeing these recruiting rankings are going to plummet, and we're not going to, and people are going to freak out about this. And we've heard a lot of, you can't be 10th in the SEC. Well, first off, I don't think we've been 10th in the SEC in recruiting. I don't, because I think that the 24K class was highly underrated. Highly underrated. If you talk about this past cycle, why are they 10th in the SEC in that cycle? Well, partly because the guys they got are underrated. Number 2, they only got 18 recruits because they went heavy in the portal.
Yeah. And that's these coaches, when they're looking at On3, they'll look at Rivals, they'll look at 24/7 just to see who these other people have found.
Some of them, maybe, yeah.
And then what they're going to look at.
Big Bill gives a shit? You think Big Bill gives a shit?
It's not about him. I understand that, but it's no way for Big Bill to know the kid that's down there in Mississippi if there's not something on him. Okay, he can go look at him. He could be a 4 or 5. Well, Big Bill gonna make his assessment and say, okay, well, this kid is not a kid that I want, so I'm not gonna look at him. And that's what I'm saying.
Well, look at Foji. He was ranked in the 400s, 500s when Big Bill gave him the offer.
Yeah,
right. That he in the 400s or 500s, he shot up into the top 100, and you got guys like Eicher talking about he might be the best he's ever seen at that position this early on.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't know what I'm just saying that you're hearing these things. Obviously, that nobody even knew who the kid was until Big Bill offered him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell
that
you
makes sense to what you were talking about.
Yeah, and I remember back 2015, 14, maybe even 13, that I started watching kids go over to Alabama with nothing and get an offer from Alabama. And within 24 hours, they had a ranking. And within 24 hours, they picked up especially if let's just say as a kid from Texas, and he comes in and go to the camp at Alabama. He gets an offer from Nick Saban. And guess what happened? Texas gonna offer him next, TCU, and then it's gonna start rolling, and then he's gonna go up the ladder. That's the same thing could happen. Everybody know Nagy is he is a scout. That's what he does. That's what he's always done.
25 years.
For 25 years, and he's been a damn good one. So if Oklahoma makes an offer to a kid, then that's gonna make these guys go have a hard look at that athlete, whether he's offensive line, D line, or whatever situation is. So Oklahoma has offered him. Nagy has signed off on that offer. Let's go look at this kid. Let's see.
Well, here's something to back up that point you just made. You weren't on when we were talking about this earlier. The Athletic ranked the top 25 FCS guys that are now playing in the big boys, FBS, from the portal. Giovanni Gibson ranked number 3, right? That's a testament to EJ and what they think about EJ's what he's done. Because he does a great job.
You see it. Yeah, you got no talent when you see it, man.
Oh yeah. And then number 9, also in the top 10, Derek Simmons out of Western Carolina. Another testament to what they think about Big Bill and his evaluation of players.
Right. And offensive lineman, where did he rank? Where did Simmons rank on the offensive lineman being in the portal?
I don't know. Well, he's the second, I believe the second. Wait.
I think he was 1 or 2.
He's the third from the FCS. Sean, you've got an interior guy from Illinois State going to Tech that they think a lot of 6'5", 305. I don't know that I would agree with that necessarily, but okay. You've got Central Connecticut State offensive tackle. He's 6'5", 305. I mean, I think that's the Athletics ranking. But as far as like what are they ranked as far as what the portal rankings were, I'm not really sure. I think Derek Simmons was the number 1 portal ranked guy, wasn't he?
I know he was high at one time, yeah.
Pretty high up the list anyways.
That was a kid from Rice, I think. That might have been
Coach Top says Giovanni only played 1 season of wide receiver. He was a quarterback whenever he came out of high school.
He didn't play wide receiver in high school.
At high school at all. No.
Well, he played, I think, his sophomore year, but his junior and senior year,
he was their quarterback.
He was their quarterback.
Yeah. That's what happens to a lot of guys, right? A lot of guys that they're just the best player on their team, that's got to be your quarterback for you to be successful.
Especially if you run that type of offense.
Right.
You want the ball in your best player's hands.
Stud, you got to have your stud having the ball. That's right.
So you can't have him out there receiving. You ain't got nobody to throw it to him, and he can run. So hey.
He wasn't at. You saying he was a defensive end his first year? That was his first year at.
Who say he was a defensive end?
I don't know that Coach Top said that, but I don't think that's right. No, he wasn't. He went to where did he go first before?
He went to Henderson State.
Henderson State, right.
And then he went to
killed it there
UAB.
too. He had big numbers there too.
Yeah.
But it was a great evaluation. I mean, we were talking about him. Coach Jim was talking about him on this show when they found him.
He's been a receiver.
He blew it up. He wasn't blow it up from the sideline.
He said first year at PV. He was only at PV for a year.
No, he was only there 1 year.
So where are you getting that from?
I don't know if you heard that from somewhere or what. Coach Top knows his stuff, man. He brings a lot of receivers to Oklahoma. Him and EJ are tight. Him and EJ are tight.
Well, I'm just saying. I know he was only there 1 year.
Yeah, I don't think he was a defensive end though.
No,
he was a receiver at Henderson State.
Yeah, he played. He said what?
I want to look at. I haven't ever been able to find his stats, but I know they were killer, man.
He played receiver at Henderson.
Yeah.
Played receiver.
And you know what though? If you look at his size, you could see.
He played
to play something like that.
He played DN in high school.
Yeah, he did.
He played quarterback in DN.
Mm-hmm. Look at his size, dude. It doesn't surprise anybody. I remember our boy Nick Anderson talking about Chavis saying you could always be an edge guy. That you're that size dude that we'd like to see you play edge if you want to.
Nick over there rolling with threes.
Yeah, and I mean, in Coach Top, I think Coach Top is man. Much respect for Coach Top. He's got a lot of connections with a lot of these receivers, and you've seen a lot of these guys. When you look at this dude, Giovanni Gibson, what do you look at him? Unbelievable find. Okay, yeah, great find. And Marcus saw him at whenever they played his alma mater for a homecoming game. And if you think about it, man, you've said this a bunch. That quarterback wasn't even good.
Oh no, he
wasn't good at getting him the ball, and he was still.
I mean, Giovanni would put his damn foot in the ground and get so much damn separation that hell, you just throw the damn football.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. I mean, that damn corner, that damn post corner, that post, the 9 route
running is fluent, man.
Yeah,
it's so fluent. You don't see him.
I mean,
wasting steps, I guess. He's quick in and out of the break.
He don't have a lot of false steps when it comes to running his routes. And that's a lot of, you got a lot of kids want to do a lot of dancing. He doesn't have a lot of false steps. He actually gets down the field pretty good.
Well, Nick running with the threes could be about his injury, and it could be about the fact that they just have a damn wide receiver, damn factory down in the swamp somewhere.
Yeah, it could be either one. I heard
I think Nick is good when he's healthy.
Week. Yeah, I heard that last week on one of the On 3 shows. Yeah, so yeah.
You heard what?
Oh, he was running with the threes.
Yeah, we've been hearing that a lot for a while now. But again, is it because he's hurt still and they're trying to just, ease him into it?
Yeah, I mean, that's
because at LSU, you don't ever have to know who they are.
Nah.
They also got that dude from Kentucky that was a killer.
I think game time, when it comes around in the fall, I think he'll be in the mix. I mean, he's a great athlete. I'm not going to say
he's tall. He makes plays on the ball. I listen, I'm not going to sit here and badmouth Nick Anderson as far as his talent's concerned. Whatever you may think about what happened throughout last year, that's on you. I'm not going to sit here and do all that stuff. I don't think that it's good for Oklahoma to do that, whether you're part of the program or you're a fan of the program, is to make those kind of comments on right here. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I believe that Nick Anderson wasn't hurt. I'm not going to do it.
Nah, that man was hurt.
And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he wasn't good either, because he had 10 touchdowns with just 37 catches the year before that. Do I think Giovanni might be better? I think he might be. But it doesn't mean that Nick isn't good. It doesn't mean that Nick isn't good.
I think they're two different players, but I think both of them are great athletes, man. I wish the guy the best. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
I wish him the best, man, because I wish things had worked out. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't, and now we're in a different place. But yeah, Gibson, man, I think he's solid. He's a solid guy. Solid guy. I think him and Mateer really see the field together. When I was down there a couple weeks ago, and I don't know who the cat he was talking to, but Giovanni was on the sideline pretty much coaching. Say, hey man, no, you got to do this. When he breaks off, you got to do that. You got to do this, and that's something you're seeing a guy who just came here is telling somebody else, what they got to do, and you had the receiver coach standing right there. That was like he was doing like this. That's like, in other words, like when you got another guy on the team can relay that message. That coach, that position coach has done his job. I'm sitting here watching a transfer guy, really dig into what the third string guy is doing and paying attention to what the third string guy is doing. That's different, man. That's different because they want to make sure if everybody's out there, everybody is doing the right thing, not just because I'm out there. I got it down pat. I want everybody to have it down pat.
That's right.
So that was
well, they've been saying Mateer is one of the best. It's like having another coach out there because he knows the damn. He knows.
Mateer. But I'm talking about Gibson was Giovanni was doing this to a guy.
Yeah,
and I'm like that kind of shocked me because you just got here and you are.
And that's the EJ culture at its fine. We've been saying nothing but praise. The people that are questioning our boy, if you're questioning EJ, you crazy, man.
Man, look, when they were coming on the field, when they were coming on the game field, they went from the practice field to the game field, and I'll never forget this. And he said this. He said he was telling them, when y'all come on this field, you should have a different feel.
That's right.
When you step on this field, I don't care if it's practice, you ought to have a different feel. It ought to feel different to you.
Welcome on this show anytime, man. You already know that. He knows that.
And my thing of it is that's what I know. Boganowski don't want to sell. I know you don't want to sell, and I'm not selling either. But man, you just have to report. It's like a reporter. You have to report what you see, and that's what we see.
I'll tell you this about Jaden Gibson, T Boomer. And yeah, you know what? We need to work on something together pretty quick, Coach Top. We do. I'll get in touch with you today. But here's the thing about Jaden Gibson. I don't think that I don't expect him early. I expect him late in the year. And I think it's a perfect situation for Oklahoma. I think you might start seeing more of him week 5, week 6.
I want to say week 3, week 4.
Whatever. But I'm saying the more that you get him, I think that he's going to come along later and get more playing time as the season goes on because they're going to work him back into it. That was a terrible injury.
Here's my thing. What I feel like the coaching staff, the training staff, and everything, and I'm not going to say they messed up by no means, but I think they're saying,
well, no, his was a non-contact. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. I'm just talking about the recovery. Yeah. What I'm saying, what I'm thinking is they was like, we cannot have what we had last year, and if we got to go to a little bit more of extreme of holding kids out and making sure that we're gonna do that because in the fall it's gonna be like Tupac, all eyes on me.
No doubt. And I also think,
it's gonna be like, bro.
No, it is. And
so I
if you think about it, with what look, they just started getting they actually just had this past weekend had Burks playing.
Yeah.
They've been holding him out. They're holding out lots of guys that have had any kind of lingering issues or whatever going like that. Look at what's going on with Isaiah. He could probably go. He's not going to go until he's healthy. Yeah. There's no reason to.
You go and something else happens, then you're in a worse shape.
Correct. You want to make sure that those places that you needed to make sure you had the depth and you had the right guys in there. You don't want to mess with that. Same thing with Logan Howland. He had to have cleanup surgery, right? They haven't been putting a lot of him out there.
And I think Logan and I think those guys are going to be just fine. And I know everybody's, well, man, what are you going to do with these guys? Hey, trust me, the fall will be around quick enough. all three of those guys will be healthy, and you're gonna see what you're gonna see. You know, because they're eager to get back. They're eager to do it. You know, they're eager to do it, and I just think that you know, you why be out there and be 70% and you can't give everything that you got, and then your knee doesn't get healed, or your shoulder doesn't get healed, or
Exactly.
your ankle, or your thigh, whatever the situation is.
They've been holding out Jaden Jackson. They've been holding out a lot of these guys.
Yeah, so why risk
No point.
when you got a really damn good football team? And man, BV wants
You
to
have a
get after
chance
it.
to be special.
Yeah, he wants to get after it, and it's in him. You know, he's a jumping jack. That's all that joke
Well,
is.
and
He's a jumping jack. He's ready to go, but
I
he
think that the
understands
people that
that.
were saying stuff about Emmett was like, well, how come these freshmen didn't mature right away and become what they should have become, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I would tell you that we keep hearing a lot of really good things about, think about it, about Zion Kearney, right?
Dude.
And we saw things out of Zion Kearney throughout the year that made you think the consistency wasn't necessarily there, but that's being a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
I also still would tell you that the game plan was so bad. I don't know that you can expect that EJ or DeMarco, for that matter, or and certainly not Bill Beatonbow, could have been at their best to what they could have gotten out of some of these guys, because the game plan didn't make sense. And they didn't give him any input into it. I don't understand why you wouldn't be asking Emmett Jones for his or what he thinks should have been going on in that room. The fact that I heard that Seth Luttrell chewed his ass out over one of his receivers helping change the play in that South Carolina game when it was a touchdown, tells me all I need to know about Seth Luttrell. Did Oklahoma go to a complete overhaul last year? No. What do you mean overhaul? I think they overhauled the receiver room, but they still got a lot of those guys back. If you look at Ivan Carrion, I don't know what's going on with him in the spring. I know we've never seen him drop a football. And he's a big boy too. I think they have what they need in that receiver room. I don't foresee them going after another receiver in the portal right now. I think they got what they got. That's my opinion. And I'll just say this. If you think about that first year that Leb was here, and because when they got rid of Gundy, after all that stuff went down, and they got rid of him, and then they brought in the guy that was an analyst. I forget his name now, and everybody liked him, but they weren't developing the way that you wanted them to. Marvin looked really good. The rest of them struggled. The second that EJ gets there, they all looked really good that next year. Which do I think made the biggest jump from last year's roster, the coaching staff? The coaching staff hasn't changed it. Well, the coordinator is a big difference. But because of that, you added some big playmakers on the other side. I don't know. I guess that's a good question for everybody, I guess. Which group do you think made the biggest jump from last year, roster or staff?
Staff.
Okay.
Staff. Definitely staff. Roster, we pretty much, I mean, we had a couple pieces, but you know, and don't get me wrong, the quarterback situation is a big jump.
Big
but
jump.
I think
Receivers were a big jump too.
They are, but
because you didn't get anything out of them last year.
Arbuckle, Nagy, Williams. Man, I think you give it to the coaching staff just a little bit, but I think it's pretty balanced. I think we got everything.
It was Coach Washington. You're right. You're right, guys. Yep.
You know,
he didn't have it compared to what EJ was. He was new at it. I think he's going to be a good coach. I'm just saying it wasn't.
Who is
you
that
can
now?
tell the difference when Emmett got to town. They made a big move. in that room. A big move.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, man, that I just think it's a great balance of BV saying identifying, what he needed.
Sure.
Coaching staff, players, depth pieces.
Nagy. Hey,
Nagy. I mean,
I
I
think
think,
that's as big as anything, bro.
and I don't know how much of BV was Nagy. Was it Joe, or was it a collab in that situation? But regardless, he's here.
What I've taken from what I've heard out of Nagy himself was that he came looking for the job. He came looking for the job, and he wanted to come to Oklahoma first because it's Oklahoma. Second, because he felt like he fit very well with the staff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think him and Big Bill.
Things.
Yeah, I think him and Big Bill had a relationship too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
That's just what I got from it. He had that interview with Toby Rowland. It's on the website. It's on the Oklahoma website.
Okay.
So it's a good interview, and I mean he talks a lot about that. But I would tell you that we're going to see some things that I don't think that he needs. He's got a staff. He believes the quote that I have from him. In fact, I have it right here. Is let me find it here. The quote that I have from him here is, damn it.
What is this? What's on the?
I think there's a lot of schools that we're talking about shifting to more of an NFL model, but I really feel like the leadership here at OU is committed to that. And I wanted to go somewhere where I could really make an impact, and the staff we bring in could really make an impact. So make no mistake, they're going to do what they're going to do and what they want to do. They're not looking to 2-4-7 on 3. That's the way I read that.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make a big impact. And I think, and he was talking about the fact that he felt like he aligned a lot with them because of the fact that they're going to do some things that are more NFL style. I think that if you look at this recruiting staff and what they've already been that way. They're already much more into their evaluation than they are into anybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that's a big change for Oklahoma.
Yep. Yeah, that's, man, I hate to say this, but that's the Saban way. Saban was more into his evaluation.
He said that on the Pivot podcast that he got all that from Belichick, that they had a model of the player, what that player needed to look like at that position.
And then the recruiting resources, they just piggybacked off of Saban.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean,
all the recruiting sites and stuff.
Yeah, they piggybacked
they're
off
winning
of him.
national championships, so you're going to believe in them, are you not?
You piggybacking off of what he said and the type of kid. You didn't hear them talk about a kid being long and all that kind of stuff. That come from Saban, man.
Which came from Belichick, by the way.
It came from
according
Belichick.
to Saban. Yeah.
Yeah. So they knew the type guys that they wanted. They knew the type guys. Now, how much of what Belichick has done in the past, how much would that translate over into what he's doing now? I think a lot. Let me tell you. Let me give you just a brief synopsis of why I say that. Because if he gave Nick pretty much this blueprint in the NFL, he had to kind of you can't always get what you want. You got to get what's available. In this college thing, he got more of he got more fruit to pick from for what he wants, is what I'm saying.
No, and he's going and looking for that type. And so just because they haven't found him at 2-4-7 yet,
right,
doesn't mean he ain't there.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. So, it's like, man, the guy is him and Saban are in the same boat when it comes to different things. Saban got out of college football when he wasn't in his wheelhouse. The same thing should have happened to Belichick. He didn't do it. He stayed a little bit too long. I get it. Everybody's want to say, where's Tom Brady? There's no Tom Brady without Belichick. Belichick made Tom Brady. I don't care what nobody say. Then Tom Brady, after the year 4, year 5, year 6, Tom Brady got to be that guy.
Shit. There's people that just they always put it on the player.
Yeah, and the thing about it is,
it takes both sometimes.
Yeah, it takes both. He had to get there somehow, and Belichick got him there.
Sure.
And once he was there, he's able to just okay. I got it.
They got him in what, the 6th round,
7th round. He was a 7th round.
Yeah,
man. Come on, one of the slowest times in the 40 in the doggone draft.
There wasn't anybody looking for the guy.
You were just lucky to be on staff. You were just lucky to be there.
See, exactly. That's it. And where did that come from? That came from Nick Saban.
Yeah,
he was with Nick Saban for all those years. They're going after that type of cat. Correct.
Yeah, they got a certain body type of kid that they want.
Well, offensive linemen, they're going to be.
Yeah,
NFL draft is a lot of, you get dudes from everywhere get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't about stars anymore.
But you got guys that are at Alabama. That's when you start seeing the 6'7" tackles, the long 6'7" tackles, 325
long arms, speed,
to move. I mean that come from Bama. You know, they call him mammoth. They want the mammoth type guy.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
He wants the 6'2" guy that can run 4.5. Yeah. That's true. Because it's a game of inches, bro. And it is a game.
He knows what he's talking about. He played at Georgia and played with guys like Champ Bailey, man. You know what I mean? I get what he's saying, absolutely. And you're right. I think you're 100% right. 100%.
When you go to our combine, when you go to the Army combine and you go to some of these other different places as a kid in high school, man, they're measuring everything on you. They're measuring your hand. They're measuring your hand. They're measuring your ankles. See how much growth room you have. All kind of crap. Though that is something that didn't happen in my era, and I think it probably just came about in the last 10 years. But that stuff come from Nick Saban and some of the research that they have done on getting athletes. That's why they were so good for so long. They had a model, and that model, it stood true.
Well, if you think, and so we talked about Saban, and Saban said it on the pivot that day, that all that evaluation that they had came from Belichick. And Belichick would tell you all that came from Bill Parcells.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about Bill Parcells' teams everywhere he coached at, whether he was with the Giants, they had that certain type of guy, right? And then he took some of those dudes with him to New England. Then he took some of those guys from New England down to the Jets. And then the guys that they ended up with in Dallas looked just like those cats. Just like them.
Mm-hmm. True.
And the same is true with Belichick. Same is true with Belichick.
Man, you when it comes to parents, I had a parent call me last year about a kid. He's at Baylor. I'm not gonna call his name. My son is way better than him. He can't do this and he can't do that. I'm like, yeah, your son is a dog. He's a straight up dog. I said,
right.
But he's going to
aren't there.
Yeah, your son is 6'2", 300 pounds, maybe. Short arms. He's powerful as hell. But he can't be a tackle in the SEC. I don't care how good he played against this guy or you comparing them to.
You're talking offensive line?
I'm talking offensive line. And I told her, I said, the kid that you're talking about is 6'7", 285 pounds. And he plays basketball. He's not the best basketball player, but he plays basketball.
He's a stud.
She was wondering why this kid, who was goofy, probably couldn't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. She was wondering why this kid was getting all these offers from these, Power 4 schools, and her son wasn't getting anything. But JUCO and D2 offers. And I told her, I said, ma'am, he has something that your son don't have, and it's length and speed.
Mm-hmm.
What you mean? He got
athleticism is a different thing. Athleticism is a different thing than skill.
Right. And I told her, I said, once he get to that level and he's taught the correct way to block and use those tools that God had given him, I don't care how mean you are at 6'2", you're not going to be able to do the same thing because you're not going to have that length and he's just not going to have that skill set to do it. And it took a long time. She did not understand until her son got in college, and he understands. He's like, well, Mom, I'm not that guy. I can't play at that level. And there's a lot of parents don't understand that.
No, because they're looking at what you did in high school, which, first of all, a good skill guy, somebody that works hard and all that kind of stuff, you can get into a situation where you're a dominant player in high school because there's only certain dudes that are that good. But at the level that we're talking about,
well, this guy was getting
football.
But and not even power 4 though, Jason. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get off of this. Not even power 4. A South Alabama is gonna have a 6'4", 6'5" offensive tackle. Now he might not weigh but 290.
Yeah.
He might have came in at 265 or something like that. But they still out South Alabama's gonna offer that kid.
Right.
He's not gonna offer the 6'2" kid.
Right.
Because that kid is not gonna grow. You're 18 years old, you 6'2", you might get 6'3".
Or if you do, it'll be, if you're a late bloomer and you grow 4 or 5 inches from 18 on, then you'll end up at that level, right? That'll be you'll end up
at that level, and
but otherwise you're not going to.
And that's the beauty of having a portal,
right?
If you do go to school and you bloom out, then you have opportunity. You didn't have that opportunity 10 years ago without sitting out.
What do you mean by this, Bob?
What are you saying?
This discussion is why baseball is better than football. I don't know what that means.
That's really kind of stupid, to be honest with you.
I don't know what that means, Bob. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to explain what you're saying with that because that doesn't make sense. Now, here's the deal. If you're saying that hard work, because somebody in here a minute ago said they used Drake Stoops in this conversation that we're talking about. Drake Stoops wasn't an underrated kid. He was a kid that he got the very most out of what he has because he's out of his ability because of his work ethic. Make no mistake, Drake Stoops isn't a Pro Bowl caliber receiver in the NFL. He's never going to be. He's just not. And it's not because he's not really good. It's because he doesn't have the body type. Even an Edelman guy, we were kind of if you're going to throw him into the boat, it would be with a guy like Edelman. And Edelman got the most out of what he had with
Edelman was fast as hell, bro.
He was fast as hell, and he's great IQ, all that stuff. He was quarterback, all that other shit. He was a project guy, and he got the most out of it. But he's not I don't care what people say, that he's not a Hall of Famer. He isn't. Okay. And I like Edelman a lot. He's not a Hall of Famer. And there's a difference between him and and he'll tell you, Randy Moss didn't have to work like that to be what he was. Randy Moss, God-given ability and size and speed, period.
Hey, man, I just go down there and get the ball, throw my hand up, man. Throw my hand up in the air, man. Throw me the damn ball.
Yeah, hey, listen, he wasn't wrong. Shit. Had he worked, imagine if he had to work ethic like Jerry Rice.
Oh, man, he didn't have that type of work ethic. He didn't.
Think about if he had.
Yeah, Jerry needed that work ethic to be great.
Sure.
Walter Payton, same thing. Doggone Moss, God gifted. You know? I mean, don't get me wrong. He worked at his craft, but he didn't work like some others. That joker was just long. He didn't look like he was running. He'll run away from you.
But it also took Belichick identifying that he's a smart, good football. He called him a good football player. We're talking. Julian Edelman was pretty damn good defensive back, and they used him at defensive back a lot more early on in his career in New England.
He was a journeyman, man. He did everything.
Yeah, hey, he was trying to make the roster is what he was trying to do. Whatever you want me to do, play special teams, play DB whenever they were short on him.
Return, all kind of stuff. Kickoff.
Yeah, man. That's what he was. And that's the same thing. It's the same. Yeah, he'll tell you that he wasn't as good as Wes Welker, but Wes Welker was the same cat. You got to think about this. Wes Welker, same dude, bro.
Same
it was because of Wes Welker that they gave Julian a chance, because they had hell with Wes whenever he was with the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So they went out and got him, and turned out he was a damn good football player.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If you don't get it, if Edelman doesn't go where he goes, it's not just about Brady. It's about the fact of what they did at New England. They did it all and they believed in what they were doing, and they got the guys that fit them. Which was Brady too.
You had to be in the right system.
Which was Brady too, by the way.
Yeah, that's right. He had to be in the right system, bro. That's it.
Yeah. If you weren't, you don't even know who these guys are.
Mm-mm.
Chances are, if Tom Brady doesn't go to New England, he don't know who the hell he is, and he certainly isn't being called the GOAT.
Does he get that opportunity? And here's the thing. Here's the thing. If
Drew Bledsoe doesn't get hurt, does he get that opportunity?
No, he's a backup. He's a backup because he wasn't pushing Drew in practice or anything like that. He wasn't doing that, and everybody said they wasn't pushing Bledsoe. It's just when he got a chance to start when he was out, he done really well.
He showed that he was a different
dude. And they didn't
work ethic. Another work ethic guy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They did not want to lose the mojo they had with him. It's the reason why they didn't do it. Now, some coaches would have said, hey, man, this is my guy. You go sit your ass back on the bench. Then we don't know what would have happened.
Right. Well, I think if it hadn't been for the fact that they didn't choose him, Belichick he didn't draft him. He didn't draft Bledsoe. He didn't draft Bledsoe.
Yeah,
he didn't have to have any allegiance to Bledsoe.
Nope, he didn't, and that's why he ended up leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but man, speaking of leaving, man, I got to get ready to get out of here.
We've been going for 3 hours and 43 minutes, so this is another one of them long ones. But yeah. Listen, guys, I think that overall, look for that video. I'm going to cut some stuff out of this and the last few that we've done together to make it. And then I've got some more. So I just want to kind of concise it a little bit more. It'll be a 10, 15-minute top one. But the truth is I think that overall, you're going to see some different things, not just at Oklahoma. I think you're going to start seeing it all over the country, because this GM thing, they're going after guys that have had, a lot of these places are going after dudes that have been NFL guys for a reason. So
I would love, I just hate the fact that to hear, oh, we got this out the portal, we got this number one. Man, that's not everybody consensus of that guy. That's only you guys consensus of him.
Well, here's the thing. I think that the Athletic is even these rankings just showing, who did the best with the FCS guys. These are dudes that we've been talking about it, that that's what your show was about last week that we did on Thursday or Wednesday, that there's FCS dudes that they don't belong in the FCS. Again, talk about the two Cams and your defensive rookie of the year. He was the FCS dude for the first 2 years, and then became a first-team All-American at Florida State 2 years in a row.
Right.
He's the rookie of the year with the Rams this year. Nobody knew who the hell he was in high school.
Nope.
That doesn't mean he wasn't good, because he was good.
Yeah.
They just didn't find him. So there's more to it than just what that go into camps and getting those stars because you made sure that you were at all these camps. Not everybody can do it.
That's
so
true.
Don't judge it just by where they've been playing. Judge by what you see when they're on the field. That's what you should be doing. And judge by what these guys that we know can identify think of them. That's what you really ought to be looking at. If you go by what they thought of John Mateer, then he was trash in high school. He wasn't, but nobody gave him the time of day. Washington State, I think, was his only Division I offer.
And we're gonna in Wednesday, we're gonna talk a little bit more about why you should look at the offer sheet over a ranking sheet. We're gonna talk a little bit about that Wednesday also. So we're gonna dive into a little bit of that, and try to, and we'll have some kids we can look out and say, look, this is why I think they got it wrong. I want to show. I don't want to just talk about it. I want to be able to show it.
Yeah. I think that's what we did on your show last week too. But I think there's a common theme to what we're talking about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And
I got a couple other things.
You have a lot of folks that are saying things. I mean, look at Jeff Ketchum the other day or last week or so said that Oklahoma was recruiting like a JV team. Yeah. It's bullshit, but that's being out there. It's out there
because they want the name. They want the name. They don't want. How
Texas
many?
Has been recruiting in the top 5 for as long as I can remember, and they've had 2 years that they've been worth the shit.
Right. Here's the deal. It's just like going out and getting some of these luxury cars that's gonna cost your ass. When you can go get a damn Toyota and that's or Honda, and that's gonna run your ass 10, 12.
Yeah, the Ultima costs you $20,000 more than the Accord does, but
right.
They're the same car.
That's what I'm saying. So why go out and get that high dollar? And I think that's what Oklahoma's going to do. They're going to go out and find the studs. And, they might have to pay them a little bit on the back end, but not up front because, it might not have what everybody else has.
And welcome to the game that we're in now. Everybody, you know what? If you're Texas, you can afford to be with what they are. They can go and just chase stars. They can do that, right?
Star chasers.
You can do that because if you're Texas and Texas A&M and some of these other programs, right? Ohio State can do it.
We want to look under the rocks and find.
But the truth is, though, if you don't go out and identify this talent yourself and identify talent that you can get at good value, you're fucked.
You messed up. But Jason, I gotta run.
I gotta go too, man. Hey, man, thanks for
hey, man, anytime, man. We'll pick it up Wednesday, man, on the ground inside, bro.
You got this, bro. Appreciate you, man. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Marcus Dent from the Gridiron Insight, my guy, man. I appreciate Big Bo coming in as well. You guys, hey, man, nobody's even saying we're back in the woodshed. I got it all built back up, looking good back behind there too. I think it does anyway. Let me know what you think about that. Hey, man, we're gonna get back into this. Hey, thanks, Neilio, for coming in. All you guys, we appreciate it. Not tonight. We'll be on tomorrow night and then Wednesday morning as well. But yeah, listen, I mean, I love it. We kind of have this way about us. We're going to do longer shows with our streams, especially in the morning time. We got more to talk about. And, I don't know how great it is for YouTube's algorithm and stuff like that. Maybe it's not. But if you guys continue to share the stream and hit the like button and make sure that you're interacting like you are, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. So I appreciate everybody coming in. Appreciate all your interaction with the program. As always, we love you guys as well. And we'll see you all on the next one.